So how's things going since we
It's
last
going
talked?
good. It's going good. I'm just
Good.
ready for the weekend.
You ready for the weekend? Me, it's weekend is always work.
Hmm.
Like my weekends is like how I was saying it before. It was Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays are my weekends.
Yeah.
So it's been nice. Like I know, like the frustrating part is just strictly because everybody and their mother is weekends are off.
Hmm.
And then all these things that I want to do that would be event wise weekends. So, like for example, MegaCon being technically a full weekend, but
Yeah.
and then some. But other than that, shoot, I am happy as heck that Oh, there you go, Wakanda forever. That looks good. That's like a baseball style.
Yeah. Baseball style jersey I got from I think it was Box Lunch.
Nice, nice. Box lunch. Box lunch. That sounds familiar. Is that one of those where they give you random like items and
Uh,
stuff?
think of it like as it's like Hot Topic basically.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't know if they're under like the same like parent company or anything like that, but they literally got like the same stuff Hot Topic does.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think the only time I ever got upset with Hot Topic is they never had my size.
Hmm.
That's like lately, man. I've been noticing like this shirt here is a 2X and it's
Uh-huh.
form fitted. I'm a fat ass. But yeah, so like I said, the unfortunate of the other video, audio problems and other problems, and it was one of those like trying to touch on. So there was a situation for those who don't know is this wonderful chap happened to be the inspiration for an artist to draw a Captain America modeled and bodied of this masterpiece of a human being right here. See? Which that's what made it easier, I bet, for him because you have such a great shape. You
Mhm.
carry yourself so awesome anyway. So I'm sure like that's like what you said. I believe you said that the first time you got to see him in a while was the time he was going to be at a convention close to you, right?
Right here in Memphis.
Right, and then that you wanted to surprise him by dressing up as Cap,
Right.
and then he was all like, "Oh snap!" So that's what kicked off the very first cover, which I'll probably set it up where in post I'll show the cover on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So me surprising him dressing as Cap, that was that was probably what was it, a few months after I was Cap when I was first drawn as Captain America. Uh, that was definitely a few months after that because that was last year.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because then it just rolled into that like so you had that first cover, then that
Hmm.
second cover, but then
Yeah,
not just the second cover, but then some signing of that second cover,
right.
and that's when I peeped you. I just happened to jump on Instagram, and I saw the post of you signing, having that beautiful smile, like, "Hey, check it out, I'm signing," and then I was like seeing all the love that all these people coming for your signing and everything, for the pictures and everything. And I'm like, this, my friend turned into a celebrity. I'm just, I'm just happy I was able to see such beautiful acts going on. And
Yeah.
that was one of the other things you touched on too that we were discussing. Like, I was getting happy and emotional for you, but you
Hmm.
were saying, and I got more emotional reading how you were saying you were holding the tears in
Yeah.
the process of everything. And then when you finally went home is when you just let it all out. It
Yeah.
sounds so awesome, it's so great. But that was fantastic. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
let's
a
kick
really,
in.
really great
So
day.
you said you had your own podcast. So what was the first? I remember you said three names. What was the first name of it again?
All right, so it was actually 2 names
Oh, it was a total of
that we've
two.
been through.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you tried out three, and then you landed
yeah.
on the
I'm thinking like because we've been through like this is our third name that we have right now,
right now.
and
Right.
yeah, yeah. So this is our third name that we have right now. I think this is going to be permanent for sure.
Which is a darn good
Um,
name. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so the first one was East Coast Avengers. The second one was Beyond the Fandom.
Nice. Yeah, Beyond the Batcave.
And yep, now we are beyond the Batcave.
It just sounds like such a perfect comic bookish kind of thing because one of the people that I follow, and I didn't mention this the last time, now that I think about it, I should have, but I am now. So one of the top people that I would have followed already that were doing things that were kind of a podcasting and then they were doing it live at this one thing that's mimicking a Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars cantina out in Hollywood. And it's Kevin Smith with theirs where it used to be called Fat Man on Batman. So it was
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. And then eventually, like, they were talking about more than just Batman. Like, it had started off where they were, like, just Batman. Then they were,
Right.
like, talking more about other things. And they're like, to be appropriate with it, we should change the name. And that's when they meant Fat Man Beyond.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was so good. That was so good. And I don't know how long I've been watching. I don't know if I've really been watching them since the very start. But
Mm-hmm.
like they're the reason I did this kind of layout that I had shown you with the two, because they're the idea I did. I was like, you know what? I'll just do that because everybody else has their own style and everything. But it was like to make it simpler on me because I'm the only person. It's not like I got help to edit and all that. I was like, let me make it as simplistic as possible. Let me make it look as good as I could. And so, sure enough, it was like, oh yeah, let me get my little camera out of
Mm-hmm.
there. But yeah, that's what reminded me now of the Beyond part because
Mm-hmm.
they're Fat Man Beyond, so
Yeah.
they are now beyond just talking about Batman and everything like that. And I love Kevin Smith. I mean, Kevin's such a
Yeah,
good guy.
he's
I missed
awesome.
out on being able to see him the last MegaCon actually because he
Mm-hmm.
was there. But I got to see Jason Mewes.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was when I got to meet him was the time I went where it was before I made the chair fully yellow. It was
Okay.
just the chair with the bottom piece I was talking about. And I got him in the video that I made because the way I decided, I was like, you know what, I would like to record my very first legit MegaCon experience, especially with my brother, because this was the first time I was dragging him into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what will be a way I could do that? And so on the back, which that's why I believe we met, because
Mm-hmm.
I think you pointed it out too. A decent amount of people pointed it out. On the back of the chair, I had the tripod piece sticking out
Yep.
and holding the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there early Thursday, that's when at one point I heard this voice and I'm like, man, that sounds eerily. I think is that Jay? And I turn and sure enough it's Jay. And I'm like, I was trying not to, be all like interruptive or anything. So I was just telling my
Right.
brother that's Jason Mewes. He's part of well, his best friend is Kevin Smith. They did this movie Jay and Silent Bob, so technically
Mm-hmm.
he is Jay. And then eventually they see me and he's like, oh hey, and they ask him questions and then I like the way he did that with the camera. And then I answered the question and I had that little mingle and then he was I didn't want to like pursue any more like interactions and bother. He had his own thing.
Yeah.
He had his own gentleman that had a phone. They were recording something too. So I was like, I'll leave that alone. Which that reminds me now, I never came across that video if he had posted it to see if I was in his video with that,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been cool. That would have been pretty neat. That's the one thing too that I've been fortunate is to see that there's been people here and there, and I make a little video of me,
Right.
and so I'll get it, and I'll do like a small montage and give thanks to all these people that wanted to, take their time, because that's the main thing I've been doing every time I get out of these places and I see these photographs and I have met all these people. I give
Yep.
thanks here. I give thanks. Like, thank you for wanting to take a picture with me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody really has to. It's like one of those, everybody can just be like, oh, hey, look, you look cool, and then peace out, and then just walk away. Like,
Right.
every single person, like, I thank them thoroughly when they want to stop and take a picture with me and all that. Because it just, I mean, it makes me feel really good that there's people that would actually want to take a picture with me. And, like, I'm happy I'm at a point where, like, that is, like, because that reminds me, I was having a conversation with someone about success.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that, for me, the type of person I am, that's a level of success now. Like, I'm at a level of, like, I know I still don't feel like I'm good enough to, like, you and some of the other cats. Like, I feel like y'all still above me here. But that's still success for the point, though, that I just know you, period. Just
Yeah.
knowing you, being able to now I'm getting this great opportunity to hear and hang out with you and speak to you and talk about all this stuff. Like, this is a blessing. Like, I like
Mm-hmm.
this. It's stuff like this I can't thank someone enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
able to thank you enough to wanting to join me and hang out and just chat and chill on chilling with Puermero. Selfish plug. But hopefully things go, like, that's one of the other goals that I got going, is that hopefully I can get some of the other peeps to, I mean, I know for where I'm at right now, that's the part that sucks. Is I would
Mm-hmm.
love to invite somebody over, because I
Right.
do have a layout right now that I could produce where I'll be on one couch with a microphone, and I
Yeah.
got two microphones on the other
Yeah.
couch.
I think I've seen one of your videos like
Yeah,
that.
and so it's like, for example, there's a cosplay couple that I would love to get the opportunity to have them come over, stuff like that. But digitally, hey, I'm happy just so long as I can get it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be picky, but I would
Mm-hmm.
love to have it where somebody could come over and I could give them a hug. Because I'm one of those people. I'm
Yeah.
a hugger. I
Yeah. I
love
am
giving
too.
hugs. So it's like I would love to see everybody just give them a hug. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, if I can't, then digital hug.
I'll take that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's stuff like this that I just can't thank enough. Because this just feels like stuff like I again, like that last time I was talking about pinching
Goosebumps.
myself.
Yeah.
You know, all y'all is just awesome people that just showed love, especially you. I mean, you're one of the smile you got on your face alone, says it all on first and foremost. And then the type of cosplays you pull off and how you pull them off and how you carry yourself. I mean, you're just like one of the top great examples of going out there, having a great time, getting to take photographs with all these other great people and stuff like that. Like I think that was another thing I got screwed up on that audio, is all the things that I was very fortunate to, so far since the very beginning till current day, nothing's been negative. Everything's been
Mhm.
positive. Everything's been heartwarming. Everything's been smiles. Everything's been thank yous. I love you. I love your stuff. You look great. I met people like you. And it's like, it's just been a blessing after another blessing. And to have all these opportunities that I did in I feel like it's been in such a small window of time. It's fantastic. Like, to get to actually hang out with some people that I've followed on Instagram and stuff like that, to take pictures with them, to have someone like Superpower Cinematics where I actually got to be a part of their stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I was following them for all that cosplay stuff, and they do great work. And to be a part of that, like I know it's been a hot minute in a way since
Mm-hmm.
I last seen them or talked to them or anything, but it's
Right.
like I thank them all. I thank all the people that just flat out are such welcoming people. You got
Mm-hmm.
Layla, such a great welcome. You got the Dark Lady. I don't know if you remember Dark Lady cosplay.
Yeah.
Kira is just a sweetheart. She is such an awesome person, and her craft too is just amazing. Like she's one of the top that I'm just always in awe to see how her projects come to be. Like her Alex Draza was just gorgeous. I had
Mm-hmm.
to take a picture with that. Like she's just an awesome person, and all her friends that I got to meet because that's the other thing. I love meeting everybody that knows that person and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's just been beautiful. And then everybody is. I've been able to have some people put smiles on my face. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was this one group. It was a tag team of husband and wife, and they were walking around. I think you'll remember once I described that. So they were walking around like the character Justin Timberlake and I want to say what was the name of the other guy, but they were suited up with a gift box in front of
Uh,
them.
dig in a box. Yeah.
Yo, I was laughing so they had me dying laughing. I remember when I met him again because I bumped into them a few times, but they were walking around. I didn't want to bother them, but they
Mm-hmm.
they caught me just outside of the one Marvel meetup that we did, and they came around dancing. And the boxes are right here to my freaking head because
Yeah.
where I am in my chair. And so
Uh-huh.
somebody caught pictures of me laughing because I just couldn't stay serious. And
Yeah.
then sure enough, one of them opens up the box, and I didn't know they actually had candy in the box. And they open it up, and it's like little dicks. There's little dicks, popsicle, little dick, and I'm like, what the hell? So that started cracking me up even more. So sure enough, I grabbed one. I think it was like chocolate, and I'm like, that's what I need. Yeah, a chocolate dick. No, and they're great. Like they're great. I was just congratulating them because she ended up getting pregnant,
Okay.
and they were thinking about, okay, we're going to take a break. We're not going to really do anything because I believe, if memory serves me right, they unfortunately had a miscarriage. I believe at one
Mm-hmm.
point. So this time it's like they're watching it and they're keeping calm. They're watching what they're doing and everything. And I'm like, congratulating them and all that. And she reached out and said, I'm so thankful for your kind words and this and this and that. And I'm like, look, I just want to thank you for always being there to want to put smiles on people's face, let alone mine. Like you did. You and your husband go out of your way like crazy to put those smiles on people's faces. Like I'm just very lucky for me that I've been able to put smiles on people's faces just rolling around in my chair. But
Right.
y'all put in that real effort. And so she was thankful and stuff like that. Like her and her husband is just awesome. So it's just great to meet these individuals and stuff like that. And then have like those certain ones where they'll throw up a little video that they caught of me and they put it up on like TikTok and they'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, "This was the greatest cosplay I've ever seen," or whatever they can. And I'm like, "Hey, I'll take it. I don't care. Like if that's what you want to say, I'm not pushing that."
Right.
And that's the only part. Like I think I had mentioned, which didn't get caught, was that was the only time I saw something that was you could call it negative.
Mm-hmm.
Most people probably would. I luckily am very thick skinned. I'm from New York, so ain't nothing. I mean, I've been with some of the best on talking shit. So it's not
Yeah.
like it bothers me to see that. Oh look, it's Professor XXL or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which now that was one of the things I messed with some of those people because they're oh look, it's Professor XL, right? On one of them, I said, if you added another two X's, you might have been a little more funnier.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was throwing jabs at them
Right.
because I'm like, on some of them, I'm like, oh, look, how original. And I get like a wink,
Yeah.
because it was a decent amount out of oh man, I want to say like 300 and something odd comments that
Right.
were on her video alone. And then I think out of the 300 or something, it might have been like a small percentage. But that comes to some of the discussions I had with Layla and them. Like we kind of touched on that. There's times where you can have 100 comments, right? And out of the 100, you'll have one that's, let's say there's just one that's bad.
Right.
So that's 99 positive. Oh, you go queen, or y'all rocking it, whatever the case may be, right? And then you get that one that's like, oh, you look meh, or ah, that's ugly, or just
Mm-hmm.
something just ain't right. You know, it's just unfortunate. Somebody will end up getting fixated on just that one comment, and it'll
Yep.
ruin them. And that's where like one of the unfortunates is I said that's a you problem. You need to control you. You need to correct you. You need to
Mm-hmm.
not let that one piece of trash mess this up for you. You got 99 positive. That bitch ain't one. Like that's how I said it the last time. And it was like me with the XXL. I don't care. It don't bother me. I know I'm chunky.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take jabs at them because that's my entertainment right there. Is just to throw a little jab at the people that think they're funny, even though if some of them are not trying to be funny. Like some of them are probably trying to be funny, and other ones are probably all just talking shit. Which there was one I said, I can't remember exactly what I said, but they did come back with a little smiley laughing face and said, you know what, I'm actually glad you could take a joke. Thank you for that,
Mm-hmm.
and keep on keeping on. Like so, it went from you would think it'd be negative. I took it as a joke. I said something in a jokey way, and they saw that I could take a joke. So there are those people that they just genuinely want to joke with you,
Mm-hmm.
but the unfortunate that a lot of individuals don't realize, a lot of jokes don't go through too well on text.
Yeah.
That's the problem because I'm technically like a comedian at heart when it comes to some stuff and how I act with people, and I throw out, oh, that's what she said, stuff like that. So I know it's all in the delivery. Like you can
Yeah.
almost talk about anything and everything, and then deliver it in a way where it'll come out funny. It can. Like, don't get me wrong. Realistically, there's some people that still will land a little off, but if you deliver in a point where, like, let's say 90% of the people in front of you are giggling, you did a
Mm-hmm.
damn good job. But that's through verbal, like actually hearing the person say it, opposed to reading it. So I could type it out one way,
Right.
but you go read it your
In
way,
another way, yeah.
and that's like how like I explain to people. That's how like books are. Like we could both read the same book, I might enjoy only certain parts and chapters of the book because it spoke to me because of the way I
Mm-hmm.
read it, opposed to like you might have like I might have not liked chapter 8, but then you did because it spoke to you because of the way you read it. And that's why I tell people you can't just throw out a joke on text and think you landed. It's not. It's really not. Unless they had it a way where in the comment section you can actually do a voice recording
Yeah.
to send it as a comment. At that point, maybe you can come off as, oh look, this guy over here is joking. Oh, that girl right there, she's cool. This person over there, oh, they're just messing. But on text, you don't know that. It'll fall off hard on someone like you. You could say something
Mhm.
as a joke, and all of a sudden you got a person that they're ruined in their head. So
Right.
that's one of the things a lot of people need to realize what they go type. You need to watch what you go to type. You need to reread what you go send. Don't just send anything. And then like we kind of touched on how there's those people that really go above and beyond, and unfortunately say some really disgusting stuff, like that
Mm-hmm.
whole. I don't know. I think that part got cut out. I was talking about how the unalive thing. It's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You know damn well you ain't gonna say that to someone's face out in the street, and you go do it on the computer. Like, people too comfortable. There's too many people that too comfortable behind the computer, clickety clacking away,
Mhm.
to say some vile, disgusting things like that. You know, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. I mean, so like I said, with me, everything's been positive. Now, I was gonna ask, when it comes to you and your journey and all the things you've done, has everything been pretty smooth on your end as things go, especially in the cosplay world and the community?
Pretty much it has. I have nothing but, just good memories whenever I think about it and all the interactions that I've had. Um, and it's kind of like the same way with you. If I encounter something negative, it's probably online. I try my best not to let it get to me because it's like this person doesn't even know me, know who I am and whatnot. And it's just
Right.
like really kind of like just small things like oh, this character is white and you're black, you shouldn't be cosplaying him. Kind of like stuff like that, basically. And I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
today he's black, so
Which
deal
it
with it.
don't matter. I mean, I told one cat, he came around, he wanted to take a picture with me,
Hmm.
and he was like, I had shaved my hair and everything, and my dad was telling me that maybe I should do Professor Xavier or something like that. And I'm like, why didn't you? He's like, well, and I'm like, well, you know what? I don't know what. And he go,
Hmm.
because I'm black. I was like, and because you black. Like I told him, is Professor Xavier's character the race set in stone, as in that's what he needs to be the whole time?
Right.
Hello, it don't need to be that way. Plus, you can also look at it in the other sense where, so you got that caveat of saying, hey, everything's got a multiverse and stuff, right? So
Hmm.
we got a black Superman. So why not a black Professor Xavier? There's nothing preventing you. And that
Yeah.
was, I think that was one of the things someone pointed out when I was talking to Layla and her friends. Uh, one of them pointed out, like, there are certain individuals that be trying to act like they gatekeeping things, and I believe it was the one gentleman that was with us. I think he was talking. He was talking in regards to um, some of the Mandalorian stuff, because he's one of those. He loves mashing things together.
Hmm.
So it'll be like Mandalorian with maybe Pokemon,
Yeah.
whatever imagination goes off. But they'll be the ones that'll like look down upon him and people like that. Like, oh no, if you don't have traditional Mandalorian, blah blah blah. It's
Right.
like, look, they may be like, I think he pointed out they're cool people, but fuck that. It's like, nah, y'all. Like, I always look at, nobody's allowed to just gatekeep and say, oh no, you can't do this and you can't, or like that character's only Asian and that character's only white or that character's only black. Like, I don't give a fuck what you talk about. You can be whatever the hell you want to be. You
Right.
can love it just as much as anybody else, and that's all that matters. If you want to be that character, by all means, you be that character. And if
Hmm.
those people don't like it, okay, bye. It's like one of those, I ain't here to make you happy.
Right.
I ain't here to try to make these people happy technically. Not one of these people. I'm here to make me first and
Me happy.
foremost happy.
Yeah.
So once I'm happy, then everything else that comes in that's happy with me, that's icing
Hmm.
on that cake right there. Because
Right.
I don't need you to tell me yes or no, or if it's alright or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't need your like approval or something like that. And that's where certain individuals, unfortunately, they get a little deterrence with that. Like, it gets in their head. They're like, oh, but it's like, no, 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 no. You got to break out of that. You got to break out of that.
Hmm.
Ain't nobody got the right to tell you if you could be a character or not. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. There is such a thing as a black Captain America, right? Because we
Hmm.
know about Sam. Let's say besides Sam, let's say that never happened, right? And you just got Cap. That still doesn't mean you can't be Cap. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. Ain't nobody saying that you can't be Cap America. Like, yeah, you might be leaning towards Sam's variation of it. but you don't have to. You can still
Right.
dress up and be in the form of what regular Cap's outfit and all that.
Yep.
You can just do it and that's it. And then you got those people, oh, but that's not movie accurate or that's not comic book accurate. It's like it don't have to be. Like, don't get me wrong, there are those people that they thrive on the idea of making it perfect to where it's coming from. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like if they're doing the one iteration of a Superman that's from the Man of Steel that came out with Henry Cavill. Okay, cool. But then you got peeps that twist it and change it real quick and tweak it, and then bam, they make it their own Superman.
Yep.
Especially the Spider-Man world. If you
Oh
you
yeah.
know just
You
as
see
much as
it,
me,
many variations of it.
all kinds of that, and that's the highest encourageable thing right there is
Yeah.
seeing all those peeps doing their own Spider-Man.
Hmm.
And I love it. I love seeing like the different color combos and this and that. Like I saw one that was like a samurai inspired Spider-Man. I
Uh-huh.
saw like one that was like an anime style in Spider-Man, which was actually a kid I follow. I forgot his name already. Damn, I forgot his name. But he's someone that I followed through other individuals that he's danced with. So like he started off, that's most of his content from the very early starts of his career, as when he
Hmm.
was very young, he was doing a whole bunch of dance routines, and then eventually started getting into because he liked anime, started doing things, and like some of the last videos he did were awesome, where he would collaborate with someone to do like a fight scene with a sword, or just a fight scene like doing whatever martial arts, and he is awesome. He's one of the ones that had like a ninja style anime ish Spider Man on his very first time he went to because I was looking at it not that long ago. He actually got the opportunity to go to San Diego Comic Con, and that was
Okay.
his first con. And considering that he didn't realize that people would recognize him, which is cool. I love the idea of like when someone's not thinking somebody's gonna recognize him. So he out there, he's all nerding out and excited to see. Oh, look, so and so. Look, that's so and so. That's this character. That's this character. And then the people were coming up to him, be like, "Hey, you're so and so. Can I get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah." You know. So it was this back and forth of nerdism of people that knew him and his content, but then him enjoying to see all these people dress up these particular characters he knows and stuff. So it was just so happy to vicariously live through a nice San Diego Comic Con like trip real quick through him. Because
Hmm.
that's definitely a place I don't think San Diego Comic Con, I don't know if I'd ever be able to do something like that. That was one of the other things we talked about was like a goal that I have now for something that's far away would be like Dragon Con. So eventually, I would like to get that opportunity to hit Dragon Con, and then the next big one for me would be like New York Comic Con.
Hmm.
Now I tell you what, I was thinking about what would because I think it was my brother that brought it up. It's like how would you really want to treat things if you had the ability to do any of them? And that's when I was like, well, if I had hit the lottery, let's say I hit the lottery, and I definitely got, I could sit back and really think about it. I might do like one of those like a bucket list style of I would
Hmm.
love to visit and be a part of at least one time of each, almost each and every con that is throughout the United States and outside of the United States. And I think obviously money is the only way that'll happen, but
Hmm.
just the idea of like hitting some of these small ones, hitting some of these big ones, and just being out there in a sense to solidify myself as I'm the Professor Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
That'd be. I think that's one of the reasons I would do it. Is I would really want to solidify. Like I want to be. If I'm gonna be a hit wonder, let's say it like that. If I'm gonna be a one hit wonder, I'm gonna be a damn good. I want everybody to know who this professor is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that'll probably be like that goal.
that's a good goal though.
Hey, that's a hell of a heavy goal. But when it comes to outside of playing Professor Xavier, I had mentioned like it was like the Morbius chair that I wouldn't mind doing. That's money
Yeah.
there too, and I know that because everything and anything that I've been thinking about, I've been trying to say realistically, I would have to do a character that possesses something that I would need a chair because my
Okay.
back is just not gonna be there for me. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
can't just do that's my limitations. But at least that is because I'm a person that I don't really back down from challenges. So that's why I see myself like if I had the cash, I would love to take on that challenge to try to go out, get the appropriate chair that'll be perfect for the project as hey, here's the Mobius chair. And then like I mentioned before, I got a buddy that would love to come in and collaborate and work on it because he loves doing the lights and stuff. And the chair has a lot of elaborate lighting that's really beautiful. I think it's a really cool design. Because I mean, it's got like two or three designs, but the one I'm looking at is the one that really caught my eye because it was also not only did it have that new God character on it, which I would like to do that costume in the chair, but you also had that same chair at one point. Batman gets on it, and then
Mhm.
I had mentioned that in the other one. I think the audio was off. That's probably my only opportunity that my fat ass could be Batman. Is
Yeah.
that iteration of when he sat on the Mobius chair, he's like, I'm a god now. I'm Batman. Kevin Conroy, God rest his soul.
Yeah, man.
But outside of that, like I was just talking to my brother. He was playing the Smash game earlier today. He came over, brought a Switch. He was showing me some battles he had. It was pretty fun. And I was looking at, I forgot about Wario. And I'm looking at Wario. I'm like, I can do that fat ass. But in the sense of like, how realistically am I going to do it? I would set it up as if I was Wario in the like a Mario Kart setting. So I would have the
Got you. Yeah.
chair to look like a cart,
Hmm.
and then I could ride around. I'm Wario.
That would definitely work.
Which that's another thing with the voices. I'd be trying to do that voice stuff, man. I think I shocked a few people at one point because I was just doing it just to do it. Like there was certain people that be a character, and I'll do the voice, and they'll look at me like, "Oh snap, that was pretty good." Because there's always times like my brother was saying something about Pikachu, and every time I think about Pikachu, stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
there was one person dressed up as the God of War Kratos. I
Hmm.
will get my revenge. Like I love doing voices like that, especially like one of my favorite voice actors, and it's mainly because it was through the Hulk. Now he didn't do all the Hulks,
Yeah.
but he's done the majority. So like, for example, the animated show of the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, I
That
remember that.
that stretch of cartoon, he was the Hulk on that. He was the Hulk when they did that one movie. It was Hulk versus Wolverine.
Hmm.
So he did the Hulk in that one and stuff like that. So like there was some he did. I know for a fact he didn't do. Unfortunately, the Planet Hulk movie that they
Movie.
made.
Yeah, I remember
He
that.
unfortunately didn't do that one. Like the guy that did that one though was great too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking on that guy. It's just I like Fred. Fred Tatasciore is his name that does that Hulk, and he's one Hulk strongest there is. I love the way he delivers those lines and he
Yeah.
like he's so physical. Like when you see the behind the scenes and
Hmm.
you see how physical he is trying to throw out these Hulk smash, and he's just throwing that on there, and it's like I love seeing that kind of stuff because it's like it brings that child out of me because it's a legit job, man. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I personally think in many cases doing voiceover work is a little bit more tedious than just being an actor out doing stuff. Like,
I
don't get me
think so
wrong.
too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You do have those actors; they got to do some wire work or whatever, like that. On a physical sense, that's there. But when you think about you thinking you just go do a voice, you ain't just doing the voice. Like, as in it already exists. Like, you got to create that voice. Then
Mm-hmm.
you got to animate that voice. You got to deliver a voice that's giving physical cues. Like, to see Fred do the like he's actually got to do things to really give a performance that can sound realistic in a way on the screen when you hearing the character do all this crap. So it's amazing. Then you got like Steve Blum. I don't know if you ever heard him. He's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
Wolverine. I
yeah.
think out of everybody, he's my Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Blum is my Wolverine. That man is badass, but he's done so many characters. Oh, he was actually. I just recently found out he was the one that did the Sub Zero out of the last Mortal Kombat, and then but
Oh,
this
okay.
new Mortal Kombat, he got on board to be Baraka. So now
Oh,
he's done
nice.
two characters in the MK world, and I was like, oh, that's pretty pimp. That's pretty pimp. Like I was wondering if they were gonna use him for Sub Zero, but come to find out because of the way the story was, it's technically a different Sub Zero. So it made sense that it wouldn't be technically the same voice.
Mm-hmm.
And but for him doing Baraka, he did a fantastic Baraka. And I'm mind you, just with Mortal Kombat 1, I really think that story came out great. Like it delivered in a way that you cared about each and every character. Like I enjoyed what the hell they did with Melina, and
Mm-hmm.
in many cases that was like a throwaway character, a side character. This time, it was like she was front and center in I think a really nice way. And then when you got to meet everybody else, when you met them, it's like they were front and center. They weren't just some side thing that you just. They had their story. Like you got Reptile, he was Baraka and stuff like that. Everybody had such good connectivity of like the way the story was being carried. Like they earn your care for that character. And I really loved the way the voice acting went on everything, and everybody that did that game. I applaud them. They did a great job. Like I
Yeah.
saw the whole thing like a movie. That's one of the things that I've been doing lately. Like I don't know, would you call yourself a person that would play games? Like you would play video games?
Oh yeah, I'm a streamer too as
Like
well. So
what kind of
so yeah.
stuff do you lean towards?
So like I'll say like right now I'm playing the new Spider-Man 2 game. I was playing God of War Ragnarok, which I need to finish.
That's a great game, yeah.
Um, Fortnite is has become my go-to game to play. Like if I just want to go play video games, I'll just go and play Fortnite. Let me see what else have I played. Of course, the first God of War game, Gotham Knights, the Arkham, Batman Arkham Knight. I've played. I mean, I play a variety of them basically. I'm a GTA guy as well too, because San Andreas is one of my favorite games of all
I
time.
did play a decent
Um,
amount of that, yeah.
yeah, so I'm a GTA guy as well. So yeah, a variety of games that I love to play and stream.
So like you were saying, so the go to like if you go say, hey, if there's anything that out of I'm just gonna play a game, but it's pretty much Fortnite is like first and foremost.
Yeah. And funny enough, like I was not into Fortnite when I was getting back into playing video games because before I got back into playing video games, I didn't play video games for like maybe 8 or 9 years, maybe 10 years,
Oh
I think.
wow, you had a big
So
hiatus.
I kind of like stopped like kind of like stopped like when I got into high school, I think. But I would not say that I didn't hate it or anything. I just kind of like stopped But then if I was like going to like parties or I got invited to a friend's house, I would still, go play with them or whatnot if they had a console available. But since the pandemic hit, I was just like, okay, we're gonna be home all the time. I'm gonna need something to do. So I was like looking around for a Nintendo Switch, all sold out
Oh
everywhere.
no.
So I wasn't able to get one until next year. But I was lucky enough to snag a PS5 pre-order since it was coming out around that year. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get a PS5. Try to find a couple of games. Luckily, the Miles Morales game was one of the first games on the PS5, so I was
And
able
it
to
looks
get that.
so good too, right?
It was
Oh,
very, very
it
good.
looks so good because I got the chance to see the first one, and when I
Uh,
saw the second one being like Miles Morales, like I mean, what a great character though.
yeah,
Like Peter
very,
Parker
very
is a
great
great
character.
character on his own, and then Miles is a great character on his own. And
Yeah,
then it's like the extra icing when you got both of them hanging out and stuff.
yeah,
Like it's great. Like I got to enjoy finally the second iteration of the Spider Verse movie,
movie.
and I that was
So
great.
good, right?
That was so good. The animation's insane. The excuse me, like I'm not that type of person when I buy Blu-ray because even though I am a person that hasn't gone to the movie theaters because of my pops
hmm
passing and stuff like that, but I am thoroughly in there when I grab one of those Blu-rays and I sit down, I watch the movie, enjoy the movie, and then I watch for as ever long as it takes me all the extra stuff that comes on the disc.
Yeah,
And to see all the different people from different cultures and different backgrounds coming in to bring in their slice of the Spider-Man pie, like it was amazing. Like
hmm
love the indie style. Like that indie style was awesome.
yeah,
And and then they pointed out a thing where they said, "What do you mean chai tea? You just
yeah,
say tea tea." And I'm like, that's exactly me. Like when people say it's queso cheese, all you doing is
uh,
saying cheese, cheese. Like what the hell?
yeah,
So I related to that moment so much, and I was dying laughing. I'm like, exactly right. But yeah, it was like, oh, Miles, like the way they're carrying it and the way that voice actor's carrying it. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving all that stuff right there. I really do. Which I didn't get a
yeah,
chance to meet him. I think he popped up, the one that did
yeah.
Miles' voice.
I got to meet Shamik in Dallas
Oh yeah,
this past year.
nice, nice.
Um, As a matter of fact, I got to meet both Miles Morales. So I met Shamik Moore in Dallas, and that was kind of like by luck because me and my friend, it was the last day of Dallas Fan Expo, and we we were getting ready to leave and whatnot. So he's already left. He already left, but I was like, let me go back in and get his shirt. So I went back in, guys, tried to look for a shirt, saw his booth over there. It died down, so I was just like, a shirt or a chance to meet Shamik Moore. Hmm. All
Exactly.
right, let's go try and meet Shamik Moore for a little bit. So I was able, chat up with him a little bit, telling him he's doing a great job as Miles in the movie. Then we posed for a picture together, did a little Spider-Man pose and whatnot.
Nice.
Really, really awesome guy. And that next that next week, not even that next month, it was that next week. I went to Ranger Stop in Orlando, which is not Orlando, Atlanta, which was basically Power Rangers
Right, right. I
convention.
think I heard of that
Uh,
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like all Power Rangers are there basically, and Najee Jeter, who is the voice actor for Miles in the video games and some of the animation, he was there. So I was just like, yo, I definitely gotta get my pick with him now. So
What?
we actually got to chat for like a few minutes. I was telling him, how much I love the Miles Morales game, and I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 2. Juggling him. Can I get a little hookup? I want that deluxe version, on the free.
Hey, it
Um,
don't hurt to try.
I mean, hey, you gotta shoot your shot though.
That's right.
So, uh, So we got to chat for a little bit. Had our, I think I actually had our conversation like video recorded. I think,
Oh yeah.
but he was such a really really cool, low key, chill guy.
Well, that's cool. You got
And
to
you could
meet
just tell
both
he's grateful for like to be Miles
part of that. Yeah,
Morales.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
See, but opposed from both, like when it comes to the game, they got his likeness. If I'm not right, that's his likeness. They got it pretty much his likeness in the game.
a little bit. I want to say a little bit,
A little
not
bit,
full on
not
likeness,
full.
but he has a
That's
little bit
that's the
of.
other part I think is pretty cool. Like when you bring in someone to play a character,
Uh,
and you can get their likeness for the most part. That's
yeah,
that's pretty much an extra that solidifies that you are Miles
right.
Morales. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's pretty cool. And I feel like
Yeah.
that was such a great opportunity for him because he's great.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, but see, now that's one of the things that I was looking at when it came to games. It's like some of them come out so cinematically beautiful.
Hmm.
That's the way I've been consuming them. I
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's like I haven't had the drive to want to play any other game but my World of Warcraft. Like I
Yeah.
love World of Warcraft. I've been playing that since March 2005. Bam. Almost well, pretty much all the expansions. I got screwed on one of the expansions because at a time I unfortunately was like living in a hotel room and stuff,
Hmm.
and my PC was just in a storage unit, so I missed out on a good chunk of that one of those. But when it comes to anything else, even though like I want to say it was PS3 is where I pretty much stopped when it
That's
comes
where I
to like
stopped.
because for example I got every single copy for the PlayStation 3 of
Hmm.
all the God of Wars up to God of War 3. We're talking about
Hmm.
number 1, number 2, number 3, the prequels that were the two on the PSP, which they
Uh huh.
re-released as a one pack for the PlayStation 3. So I played all of that. So like there's new iterations of God of War in the more Norse mythology. Like I didn't get to play any of that, but I played all the other ones and I still own them.
Yeah.
But and then when it comes to anything else that I really enjoyed was car racing. So I had the last iteration on the PlayStation 3 of Gran Turismo because
Hmm.
I loved me some Gran Turismo. I remember I played Gran Turismo when that first one came out for the PS. I had it. I had another copy. PS2 had it. Had the PS3, which unfortunately I had my PS3 stolen with a bunch of other stuff one time.
Oh
So
god.
over 1,000 cars gone. I was so bummed. I was
A
so bummed.
thousand?
Yeah, I had literally 1,040 something cars that I had purchased. I had
Wow.
almost upgraded each one. Like I had put some money into each one in some way, shape, or form.
Mm.
Whether it was like, well, I just got this one, so I just bought tires for right now. That one over there, I bought the suspension and tires. That one over there, I just put the supercharger on it. Stuff like that. And yeah, unfortunately, that shit got robbed and everything. And I ended up repurchasing. I found a big body PlayStation 3 because I wanted to have the big body.
Yeah.
And I had bought a terabyte hard drive to put in it because the big bodies were like, barely any space, of course.
Yeah.
Which one of the best things I liked about that Gran Turismo is I was able to tap into a playlist. So if you put music into the PlayStation and then you set up that playlist as that's what's playing when you play the game. So when I'm
Hmm.
racing, I have my own music. I had Disturbed, Metallica, and then sometimes I'll have some Tupac, Biggie,
Hmm.
Busta Rhymes. So I had all this crazy mix of all these different music that I never. I had so much stuff that I put in there. I didn't know what song was going to come up, and that was
Yeah.
great for racing. Like I just have some random song. Cool, let's go. And then unfortunately, that thing went kaput on me because it was like I guess there's a chip right where the USB, not the USB, but the where the HDMI plugs in. There's
Uh-huh.
like a chip that helps run that.
Yeah.
That chip got like messed up. It got like where
Ugh.
you would have to replace that chip, which
Uh-huh.
I took it to like this place called like You Break I Fix or whatever. And
Yeah.
luckily they were cool. Like, hey, we'll look at it for free and we'll see what's up. And they were like, yeah, unfortunately, it's those chips. One chip alone is like $350, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I was so heartbroken because I love my big body, man. I love that big body.
Right.
And the
And you
one I
know,
own was from a friend of mine.
let me correct myself. It wasn't around when the PS3 was coming out that I stopped playing. It was around the PS4 because I know I played
Oh,
a
okay.
few
So like when the
PS3
four was
games.
coming out, that's when you
Yeah,
were like cutting it.
yeah, that's why I could
I
because it had
think
to be
I think it
like,
was just before they even announced a four. I think I was already done.
yeah, yeah, because it had to be like around high school. I was getting ready to go into high school is when I like kind of like stopped playing video games.
Right, right,
And then, like I said, the pandemic came, and I was just like,
right.
yeah, I need to start doing something around the
I
house.
played
So,
a lot more
video
WoW
games.
that time. That's for sure. Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
when
I
it
was
comes to
just,
like when it comes to some of these games though, like I said, they are so cinematically gorgeous, and
hmm
some of them just got great stories too. Which you never know they got great stories until you would play it. But I'm not in the camp of saying I'm gonna cough up $600 for a unit, five
yeah,
hundred dollars for that unit just to play that game, just to see what happens. Like I'm not at that point anymore. So it's like, for example, I follow two individuals on YouTube. One's like MK Ice and Fire, and the other one's Gamers Little Playground. So shout out to those two. I love y'all. They they both get their opportunities to play different games. Sometimes they'll play the same game. One will release it just before the other one or whatever.
yeah,
Like when it came to MK1 as an example, I know MK Ice and Fire released first, but he tweaked it to where it wouldn't show certain gore. That's what it looked like, and I'm like, I think he adjusted some stuff here. So then it was like maybe a couple of days later, Gamer's Little Playground released, and he goes all out. Whatever the game's gonna show you, that's what it's gonna show you. And so
hmm
I rewatched it there as a movie. That's what it is that they'll both play, they'll do a playthrough, and then they'll go and piece it where they'll cut certain parts out and all that and try to make it like a cohesive movie for you to just sit down, relax, and watch it. And that's how I've been consuming some of these games. And I say some. There's like right now, for example, I believe it's 8 hours and 30 something minutes for the Spider-Man 2 as a
hmm
movie by
yeah,
Gamer's Little Playground. So
yeah,
eventually, later, maybe today, after hanging out with you, or maybe just next week, I'll sit down and binged 8 hours and change just to watch that.
yeah,
And that's how I've been consuming them. And honestly, I've been happy. I've been happy to consume it like that. It's fine with me. Like I don't have to play the game. I really don't. And like I said, I haven't had the drive or the want. So there
hmm
you go. I did the MK1 as a movie and all the other MKs that came out before it. Let's see. I think some of the longest ones I've done. I don't know if you heard of Death Stranding.
yeah.
Okay, so I did that one. The shortest one they were able to do was just over 11 hours. And I watched that one. That's the only one I did two sittings. Like I watched some, stopped it, went to bed, woke up, watched the rest of it.
Watch it again.
But like that one was wicked. That was some weird shit. I ain't gonna lie, that was some weird shit. Like that, I don't know what the fuck. But it was good, weird. Like not like I wouldn't watch it again or whatever. But that's one of the games as an example that I guess I wouldn't say I'd be pissed, but I'd just be like upset in some way to think
hmm
that all you are is like that world's carrier boy. That's it. Oh, you got a package that so and so needs. I'm gonna carry it over there. Like, you're the UPS of this game. Like, that's pretty much what's going on. And I'm thinking, what kind of crap? So it's like that's a prime example of a game I would rather watch it as a movie than ever play it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not knocking on anybody that might like playing that game or whatever. That's just me. Like, I don't see that as a game to sit down and actually play. Like, I'm sorry. So, but other games, it's just like, which I got to see a few little sneak peeks of the Spider-Man 2. And I gotta say, there was something I called it, and I was like, I called it. I had a feeling. I'm not gonna
don't
say
spoil
anything.
it because I'm not finished.
No,
I'm
I ain't
not
gonna say
finished.
that. No. But it was one of those things like when I saw who was showing up, and I was like, I bet you in this world it's gonna be like this, because that's the one thing. Like, that game definitely brings out an example of stuff that I was always ever thinking about. Is like, I want writers to sit down and make their own shit. Like, the game don't need to copy jack shit from any movie or comic book. It needs to be its own thing. You could take elements, of course, some fundamental things here and there, but I love it when people make their own shit. Like, you like when you watch movies and you'll hear somebody be like, man, that wasn't in the comic book. Well, I'll be like, first off, I'm pretty sure you haven't read every comic book of these characters because there's so many decades of a character. So you might be wrong saying that. Then on top of that, it don't need to be matching the comic book. Like, if they want to say so-and-so did this to get his powers instead of this way, all right, cool. That's just the way you did it. Fine.
And you know what? Because I was that way when Miss Marvel first came out, the TV show. Because I was like, that is not how she gets her power. She's an Inhuman. But, after watching the show, I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's cool. I actually like the way that she gets.
I tell you what, that was
that
something.
Her powers.
I want to say the curiosity sparked when someone was mentioning that on one of the episodes at the end, there was a little X-Men music.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So that sparked my interest, and I said, okay, I want to know what's up, right? So the full gist of it is the unfortunate of the creation of that character was during a time that Marvel was having problems with the mutants.
So popular.
Well, it's not that it was popular, it's that it belonged to someone else. Because you know how like bits and pieces belong to other people?
Right.
So Marvel was being a little stingy, and I completely understood. If Marvel made like new X-Men stuff, then the people that had the rights to X-Men had the ability to take those ideas and use them. So that's why they said, all right, screw you. We ain't making nothing X-Men, nothing mutant. You ain't taking my damn ideas. We go a different direction. And then that's when they were pumping out and trying to push the whole Inhumans thing. Because technically, when you really look at the full aspect of Inhumans is mutants just in a different way.
Right. Yep, it is. It is.
And that's where Kamala Khan was right at the middle of that. She was intended to be a mutant.
Yep. She was originally.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that when I found out.
I didn't know until after watching the show because I was like, really?
So Kevin Feige said that in an interview. I pulled up the interview. He's like, look, this character was intended to be a mutant. And unfortunately, there was things that were happening, and they made her an Inhuman in the comics. But for our world, we're going to keep her to what she was originally going to be. And I was like, you know what?
And you know what?
Cool.
Right now in the X-Men comics, I want to say she is serving as an X-Men member.
Yeah, I think she's hanging out
because she has a costume change, and then she has a little X buckle.
I was like that one I was talking about from last time. She's in it. The Fall of X and all that. Like she's
it was along with that. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, good. I didn't, no hate on Inhumans. I know some people like the show wasn't good. I didn't see anything from the show. Apparently that didn't go too well.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
they did what they could.
I was happy they brought back the one guy that did Black Bolt.
For Multiverse of Madness.
Cool. I thought that was pretty cool. showing respect to that actor because he's a good actor. That's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
To think about, you go play a character like if you were to speak, you could damage things. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's acting that's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to do
You
facial
have to
stuff.
show
You're
it
gonna
through
have to
your
maybe do some
emotions.
some some
Yeah.
sign language and shit. Like that's a lot of practice and a lot of understanding that kind of stuff. So he's a great actor. Like I saw
Mm-hmm.
some of his stuff because he was also part of like Star Trek and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, dude, in Humans comics, like it's not like I got into it. I never did. I mean, I'm not a big comic book person, anyways. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let me throw that out there. But it was one of those. At least I still touched on. Okay, so what is Inhumans? What was the concept? Where are they originating from? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Who did what, when, and where, and all that. And then that's when you find out it's like, so the base fundamentals of mutants is the Celestials put genes to activate later in humans. So the
Mm-hmm.
humans naturally on Earth eventually become mutants, but that's through the Celestials. Okay. Then you had the meddling with the Kree with humans on Earth, and they
Mm-hmm.
implemented stuff, and they were biologically trying to make it where they could create powerful humans. Bam, there goes Inhumans. Now, how they activated it obviously was different. I did think that was interesting where eventually the whole Terrigen mist that
Mm-hmm.
would turn and activate. So, like, if you were a regular person and you didn't have nothing, you were all right. If you
Mm-hmm.
were a person with a dormant inhuman genes, bam, you would
You will
inhuman
be
activate.
activated.
But then it was interesting to know that if you were a mutant, that it was bad for you. That you
Right.
could die from that. And I'm like, what? And I
Mm-hmm.
almost looked at that as another way for them to kind of dumb down and reduce the number of mutants again because
Yeah.
it reminded me of like how like they use
Uh-huh.
Scarlet Witch
House of M. Yeah.
with the House of M. I felt like that
One
was
day.
another way for them to like, man, we got too many mutants. We need to do something. And in this way, it
Mm-hmm.
was like you can use the mist to kind of like get rid of some, so you can kind of make it a little easier to tell certain stories because it does get out of hand when you think about if you got that many mutants and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like in Humans, I'm glad that didn't blow up. It wasn't like there was a whole fuck ton of humans that ended up
Mm-hmm.
being Inhumans later. You know, it was a little finite group. So the same with the mutants. So it's like they had their little groups. So I enjoyed that. But when I really looked at it, I think the problem in Humans had was the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like X-Men, when you really think about it, so X-Men is like the connection to almost every young person and the things they go through, whether it be puberty and whatnot for a young human growing up. We gotta have that puberty and all that. Then you got like individuals that might have just a deformity of some kind, right? So you got those people. You got individuals that, like how LGBTQ, you got an individual that just doesn't feel comfortable in their body. So it like X Men is like that thing that touches all those categories and all those individuals, and you can find someone to relate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you might relate to a handful of X Men or just one X Men or just one mutant that ain't even part of the X Men team. So it was
Mm-hmm.
really good that's what I think really nailed it for X Men is that there was always an X Man or a mutant that you could relate to. And I mean on any level, like when you look at Magneto, I can understand
Mm-hmm.
everything he's saying. I understand where he coming from. It's harsh what he went through. I understand it. His that type of hatred towards that kind of powers and stuff like that, of people doing things, like I understand that completely. And then the same as I understand the direction Charles Xavier was going, which that's a side note. I never looked at it this way until somebody pointed out that this is one of the things they wanted to do, and that's why they did it. Is that technically Charles Xavier and Magneto were like the Martin Luther King and
Malcolm X.
yeah, Malcolm X of the way they carried the mutant stuff, opposed to how this in real life. So it was that was the influence towards pushing this story. It was like these are the inspirational characters that individuals that helped with our characters and carry what these individuals are going to go through on different challenges and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I was like, that's pretty cool. Like there was only, of course, one person said something bad about it, but it's like, what a great inspiration though. You know, MLK and X, like, yo, that's what better two human beings in our history to formulate this kind of thing. That's where the connections I think even hit even better too. And then all these struggles about being different, you know what I mean? Like there's always someone that feels so different. Like I always tell people, I don't care if you're different. You know why? Because that makes you you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really want to be the same? Like, I'm sorry, I'm definitely one of those people. I don't want to be the same. I don't want to follow all the time. Like, so far, I've been very fortunate that I've had that mentality where I got critical thinking. Like, I've heard the term critical thinking being used in certain other things that have been talked about, and it's true. Like, I think I think every single person, if they tell you a thing, you should be right there, ready and willing to throw out a question just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like gather more understanding of the thing, because there are, let's say, there's are entities out there who will tell you a thing and they just expect you to follow. They just expect you to believe, and it's like that's not how that works. I'm gonna ask you what's up. Like, first of all, if it don't make sense to me, I need to ask questions so I can somehow make it make sense for me as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how there's individuals that don't like being questioned, and that's a red flag for me. When you see someone that don't like getting questioned, there's a problem. I'm sorry, there's a problem. That means you somebody that's just trying to do as I say, not as I do, which some people have shown that, especially in the political field, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care for that. I don't care for that stuff. Like I feel like every single person should always be asking questions. You should never take everything should be taken with a grain of salt until you figure it out. You can't just have so and so tell you what's up and then that's it. That ain't how it works. Like I was telling somebody, what if somebody came up to you right now and said the sky's red, and you look up and it's blue? Now you go change. Oh no, I guess it's red. No, it's like what makes you want to tell me that the sky is red? That's a question right there. Like, what's making you want to tell me that the sky is red? Why? What is the goal here? What would be the reasoning behind this? See, all these are questions that I feel like every single person has, right? And that's where, when you look at X-Men, that has it. Why is this happening? Who's doing that? There's always a reason behind anything. Why you got that one guy decided to do a thing and then he made the Sentinel robots. Oh, shit. Then you had the one person that grabbed the one kid in the movie that he had the power to kind of deactivate the machine. And then you get to find out who's in a position where they don't want to be a mutant anymore or something like that. You get to find that inner struggle. So it's like there's so many directions, like, you know, is it permanent or is it not? You know what I mean? And it reflects on so many different topics that has happened and is already currently happening too. So
Hmm.
that's the reason I say X-Men connected so well, and the
Right.
unfortunate that Inhumans did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
I
Inhumans
totally
fell
agree.
flat, but you know what I mean.
I totally agree.
Like when it comes to all these comics in general and all these characters, if there was somebody that you feel like you would like to embody in a way, like they're the way that character is, their characters, like the way their stance is and whatnot, like who would you say you would like? Hey, I would like to mold myself to be a good person like this, like that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, because I know Sam is a great character. To be honest,
Yeah.
Sam
He will
is a
be
great
one of
character.
them. I I actually have two that just popped up in my head. I'll say one would be Black Panther. He's one of my favorite heroes, and another one would be Gambit. All right,
That's
and
such an interesting story on both of them, right? Like
yeah,
that's his.
so Black Panther is just because of his regalness and and the way that he carries himself, and he's king and and all that. He's just so dignified, I guess is the right word to use.
That's a good word. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that's one of the reasons why I chose Black Panther. For Gambit, he was just when I first saw him in the X-Men anime series, I was just like, he is just so cool with it and it's just so chill. But then he has that badass factor to him, which makes him like even more cool and more entertaining.
Right,
So
entertaining
that's
is a good
what
way to
drew
say
me
it.
into him. And then that accent is just a cherry
Ay,
on
de
top,
mon
basically.
ami. Oh shit.
I was just like, if I was from New Orleans, I need that accent right there.
I ain't gonna
So
lie. That is
I
some
already
sexy
got
shit.
enough of a southern accent right now. So I'm good with what I got right now, I guess. But yeah,
I ain't gonna
just
lie.
a cool
Imagine that
captain.
as amalgamation. Like I remember there was a comic that happened where Gamora got her hands on the Infinity Stones
Uh
and then took the worlds and like she folded it. And so the fold created combo characters
Yep.
where you would see, I think one of them was Captain America and Doctor Strange became one character,
Hmm.
as an example. Would you see yourself wanting to do an amalgamation of where that way you could be even more unique? Is to combo Black Panther and Gambit somehow together to make one outfit?
I wonder how that will look.
I tell you what, that right there is good enough for you to start putting a pen to paper and start making up some shit.
Yeah.
Let's get some concept art going and find out where you want to go. Because
Yeah.
I can really see. I'm already envisioning a couple of combos in my head, and I think it'll look good because the fact of the matter is there is that purple element in both. So
Right. It is.
that's the one through line color that pops, and then the other through line color that would just help the shade of black is already there. So it's just incorporating like, will you be a helmet or not? Will you be, if it is a
The
helmet, is a
coat.
full helmet or not?
And then you got to think about the coat too.
Then you think, is he gonna have the jacket or not? Right? Would it be that long or not? I feel like,
Uh-huh.
honestly, I feel like the jacket needs to be a thing. So
Yeah.
let's say that's the easy part. Let's say that part's already done. You know for a fact you're gonna have that jacket, right? But it's like everything else. So like,
Hmm.
imagine that, right? So imagine you had the right kind of glove. You know how like he's only got the middle ones black, but
Yeah.
imagine those are the two that have claws.
Uh
These two don't. So these two have claws, but you still have the card. Ooh, oh!
huh.
I'm already my mind. That's how my mind works. My mind goes a
Yeah.
thousand miles a minute. Imagine the cards having Wakandan fucking designs on them.
Ooh.
Okay,
Okay.
so like when
I'll
you look
take
at the
that.
backside, you know how like ain't got no number, but it's got a beautiful design. So imagine that's just a full Wakandan beautiful like artwork. And then when you flip it, you got the numbers in Wakandan. Okay? And then you can get something like, so whatever would be like a king would be like a Wakandan, like the king's helmet.
Yeah.
And then the queen, you know how the queen looked. So imagine that as what would be on the queen card. Now the Joker one will be interesting. I think the Joker one, that could be like to give it the gravity of the character, not just because it's a Joker card, but like the gravity of like who I think is next to be. So like when you think about king, queen, right? So I would look as the Joker thing as something to do with Shuri.
Okay.
Or M'Baku. So you can incorporate that artwork in there for that. Okay. See, you see how I'm all over the place? You see how this is? Wakandan cards, bro. What? I'm giving you gold right now. Write this down. Honestly, that would be, I ain't lying to you, that would be a very beautiful, unique idea and concept if you could pull off a really like decent just amalgamation of those two characters. Because now that you say that, how you like both of them for those reasons, but you bring them together. Ooh, that would be so nice. Like I want to write it down for you. I need to write that down for you. But yeah, that'd be freaking cool because there have been some combos out there that I didn't think I was gonna see. Like I've seen stuff that's kind of silly, where it was like Darkwing Duck and a Mandalorian. Okay, then I saw like a Darth Maul Mandalorian. Well, that's kind of cool. And then you see like all these other combos and stuff. Hey, what's up? Because I had the alarm clock so I could be ready for him. What do you think? Yeah. You want to hang out or what? Oh, you're in the middle? How you in the middle of something and then walk in my fucking room? No, I know I should have a little red light that I'm live. You know, live recording. A little sign. Like, stay away, bitch. No. But you alright? What's up? What's up? You just checking up on me? I'm doing great. Well, I'm in great company. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's Dominic. Say hi. Get the camera right there.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, we were just talking about his awesome idea that I think he could do that because he was thinking about like two characters or like I was like, what one character you like? But he said I got two.
Oh, you're talking about the
when it comes to just like comic book stuff.
Oh, comic books.
And he said he liked Black Panther and Gambit, and I was like, imagine if you put those two together.
Oh, like a cross. Oh, okay.
What? I was already throwing ideas. You know how the cards that Gambit got? It has Wakandan artwork on it.
Okay.
I was throwing that. I was like, oh, I'm giving you gold. But yeah, man, maybe I could make some artwork my damn self and send it to you. That already got me. I'm for real. Let me write this down because I ain't even lying to you when I say that I would really think this would be a beautiful fucking thing. Hold on. Look, try this one. You can extend it and all that. Good thing I can edit this later. We got that downtime, but it's all right. So yeah, I got it written down.
There you go.
Black Panther plus Gambit cosplay combo. Bam. I'm gonna make something happen. I'm gonna try to do some things, and I'll throw you away. That way, maybe I can give you that like foundation to work off of. Maybe I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, there we go.
That
That's a good
looks
backstrap.
so handy.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. But yeah, that'd be. Oh my god.
I like that in my life.
That's. and that'd be all you. That'd be all you. I better not release this I better not release this video. I don't need to be giving anybody else no ideas. You need to do this first. You need
Like
to
you
do
said,
this
just edit it
first,
out.
so nobody else start copying pasting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not that stingy, but no. But think about it. That'd be freaking great. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I heard it first.
Dominic is Black Gambit or Gambit Panther. See, now the name is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. I think the concept of the look is going to be easier than trying to play out the name, you know. Because technically saying Black Gambit is, well, he is black, dog. And he just happened to be dressed as Gambit. I was like, not like that. Oh, Shetty, Wakanda forever. Oh, snap. Get the voice and stuff. But no, that's... Ooh, you got me thinking. See, I'm one of those people, I'm always doing that. Like, I was helping a buddy. He was thinking about, I would like to do this thing. And I'm just like, right away, my mind's just going. I'm throwing out things. And I'm like, here. I'm throwing it out on the table. Here.
Yeah,
Like,
and you know what?
You might take some of it or none of it. I don't care. Fact matter is, I'm going to help you out. You know what I'm
saying? That also kind of like brings me back to, I'm going to admit this, and it's already out there anyway. Like I used to write fan fiction when I was younger.
Oh yeah, cool.
Well, I don't know if it would count as fan fiction or as original story because what I wrote, it was just set in the Marvel universe, but I kind of like made my own characters. So I don't know if that counts as fan fiction.
Honestly, it feels like it'd be both because you're utilizing the environment of this, but you're creating that in it. So it's like a bit of both on that.
Right.
Like if you were doing your own backdrop, your own, and it had nothing to do with Marvel and a specific character that you only made, then that's just you making fan fiction.
Right.
Like straight up. But with this, it sounds like it's like a combination of both because it's like your backdrop is Marvel, but here's your character.
Right.
Which is cool. Yeah. I mean, you always need a good foundation. What better foundation than, you know, the Marvel universe?
Right. Yeah, because because with this, I just always kind of imagine myself like, what if I was an actual superhero? And I get to work with other superheroes and stuff like that. So I kind of like got the idea. It was like, you know, I'm gonna make myself a superhero, and then I'm gonna make myself my own team for it. So I think I remember doing the first one for it with my character. So I basically just inserted myself into the Marvel universe, basically. And so I made my character. I made him into the nephew of Nick Fury. You know, kind of help with that backstory a little bit.
Oh, that sounds okay. Okay, I see where you're going.
So here all start. I can't believe I'm really going to explain this all the way.
Don't give away too much.
So
it
my
already sounds good. That's why.
Yeah. My character is just basically me. Has my same name and everything. Raised in New Orleans. And with his uncle being Nick Fury, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, sometimes he'll go visit his uncle, you know, helicarrier because, you know, it's a helicarrier. I want to go visit my uncle to see, like, some stuff.
So he has that connection with you. Like you got.
He has that connection.
Okay. You're aware of him. You were aware of the what he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, no, only, like, few people know that Nick Fury has, you know, a family outside of everything else that he does. Right. So one day my character went to go visit Fury, and then an attack happened that I got caught in, and I almost lose my life. So when I was about to lose my life, now imagine this happening to like a teenage kid,
right,
basically. So about to lose my life. Next thing you know, I have Doctor Strange coming into the picture, saves my life, but then unknowingly gives me my powers. So I got my
So
powers
far the
through magic.
powers can be derived that they're the source of it would
Uh huh.
be through the mystic art somehow.
Right.
Okay, I see what you're
But
saying.
he doesn't have my character. He doesn't have like magic, but it came from the source.
Right, it's the source,
Magic.
but you're not necessarily magic,
Right.
but
Hmm.
the source of it is like derived from.
But yeah, that's it.
So it's not like you doing your own strange shit like
Nah.
fucking.
Nah.
So
So
what kind of let's see. So what kind of powers?
so so he gave me my powers. He talked to Nick Fury. He said like, you should watch out for this kid. And so like few months later, powers activated. Visibility, force fields, of course, and telepathy.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
when all that happens, he he goes to his parents, go to his uncle for help, trains him, has like a few superheroes come out that Nick Fury reached out to come help train him, mainly the Invisible Woman because they're basically the same person, same powers and
Okay.
everything.
So I see what you're saying. So it's like he says he knows everybody. He knows who's going to be like the right person for that type of power. So yeah. So
Yeah,
with the force fields and the visibility, that's more along her lines. Because I was also going to ask, like, you think your invisibility would be around the basis of almost how Miles does invisibility, or like the Invisible Woman's invisibility? Because
yeah,
technically that's two different things.
right,
So you're leaning more towards Invisible Woman. Okay.
correct, yeah.
And then what was the other power?
Telepathy.
Telepathy. So in a
So,
way, it could be like bringing in, even though she's
so the
like Jean
characters
Grey in a
that
way, right?
I have brought in were Emma Frost
That's a good
and
one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Psylocke, because I didn't use Jean and Charles because I think when I was creating them, they were dead at the time, I believe. So I
Oh,
was
I
like,
see what you're
okay,
saying,
we'll
right?
use,
Because like maybe the Phoenix Saga, so she's out of the
yeah,
picture, and then Charles, when that stuff happened with Scott and them, he could be dead
right.
on that. I see what you're saying. So yeah, you would have Emma and okay, I see what you're saying.
Hmm.
I see what you're saying.
So, yep.
That
So I
that's
had
that's
them,
an interesting combo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I had them train me, and then next thing up is that since I was, training, was going through training pretty well, pretty fast, become a shield agent first. So I was a shield agent in high school. So
Okay.
imagine trying to do that and be a high school
Oh
student at the
God.
same time.
Now that you say that,
So
that's almost worse than Spider Man. I think.
yeah. So had that era right there. And then once he graduates from high school, uh the Avengers recruit him, and now he's the Avenger during his college years.
Okay. Okay,
And
so your character's still going to college,
huh.
but he's going to be involved with the Avengers. Okay.
So
Now,
he's
are you? Let me ask this question because I feel like this is a good detail.
okay.
On the way you're approaching your character, are you along the lines of the secret identity, or are you along the lines of people know who you
His
are?
his identity is out. It's out.
So you're
When
like
he,
Iron Man. They know you. They know who you is.
yeah. So
Okay.
when he was in high school, his identity was a secret because he's a shield agent, and of course, agents keep
Which she,
secret.
yeah, I see what you're saying on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then once he goes out to college and he becomes an Avenger, your face is already out to the world,
Right.
and it's just like what, his identity is going to be out, and that makes life a little bit more
Right.
complicated, and it's already
Which it does,
complicated
yeah,
for
because I
him.
didn't know if you were going to go the route of like how Spider-Man wants to keep his identity. So I didn't know if your
Yeah,
character would possess a mask of any type.
yes, because it also kind of like gives an advantage, a little leeway for having your identity out there. Because when you're in college, you tell your professors like, "Hey, I got yeah, something's
Yeah,
happening.
it's
Or
easier
I
to
gotta
peace out
go
from
here.
class because hey man,
It's
don't worry,
like,
I'll
can I
still got
make
my
that up?
studies, but I gotta take care of this bad guy,
It's like, can I make this up? I'll be back in like few hours. So yeah,
right?
and it makes it harder on him because he was going to school at LSU, and so
Oh,
traveling
okay.
from all the way from the bottom of the South in Louisiana, all the way to New York, that's a lot
Do you feel like
already.
you would take your character and put him with one of the? Because if I'm not mistaken, they did make other Avenger groups, right? So like,
Yeah.
there's one for the southern area, one for the west side, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Do you see you would take the character in that kind of direction too?
I didn't do that, and because he was going to be on the main
Like a
Avengers team.
prime time
He
stuff,
was, yeah, he was prime time
right along
basically.
Iron Man. And
So yeah,
okay,
so he was out in the big leagues, and
okay,
just switching back and forth from being a college student and then being an Avenger,
right.
and so
Which
so
now that
he
you say
grad
that, it ain't that bad because the way if they give you one of those jets, you can
yeah.
easily go back and forth. It
At,
really
at
ain't that
first,
bad.
at first it didn't happen, but then like
Yeah.
later on down the line, it's like okay, he can call up a jet, or a few of the heroes build him like a teleporter where he could just transport to Avengers Tower
Oh
or
man,
Avengers Mansion.
especially if you're hanging out with Sue Storm, you got Reed Richards has technology
Uh-huh.
to do like some
Yeah.
teleportation shit.
Yep.
So yeah, I can see that'd be a nice little cool little way to get from point A to point B on that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so after graduates, he still stays as an Avenger, and that's when the fan fiction starts coming in. That's when I started writing it. Uh, Fury decides that, or he doesn't decide. He thinks that it's time for my character to lead his own team.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're big time, but you're gonna do your own team. See,
Hmm.
that's where I was thinking maybe you can go down towards that in the southeastern regions of the United
Uh-huh.
States. That's your team.
Yeah.
You think about
So
that?
So I really didn't think of that at all, but now that's a good concept.
Because that's what I was
Uh,
thinking. Because that's what I thought you were leaning towards. Because you did mention
uh,
something like that,
yeah,
where about him running his own thing. I was like, maybe it'll be like that. Like, yeah, you've been with the big leagues, so you got the fundamentals of like, okay, I think I got it where I can lead a team. But you
uh,
like, hey, they ain't really anything down here in the southeast. That's my team down there covering that area.
yeah, yeah. So that's a good concept. I wish I could have thought of that.
Write it down. I gave it to you.
You
Take it.
did.
Write it down. Write it down. That's for you.
So yeah, so he thinks it's time for him to have his own team with the way that he's grown and everything, and he led the Young Avengers a few times on a few missions, so he has that leadership quality.
Okay.
And
Okay.
my character, he doesn't think that, no, I'm fine with being an Avenger. I don't need to lead my own team.
I see
But
what you're
Fury
saying. Like you're
pushed
comfortable where you at.
him. Yeah, I was like, I'm cool where I'm at. I'm an Avenger. I have my
Right.
own life going on. I don't need any more responsibilities on me. But Fury thinks it would be a good thing
Maybe
for him
maybe the
to
other thing
have his
that
own thing.
Fury's seeing in you is the
Right.
idea of like, for example, let's take that southeastern area, right? And there's a few peeps that they got some powers and stuff, and the way you are in your age and the way you carry yourself and your mentality, that you'll be that right fit to be able to help not just lead these new kids, but also help them in their endeavors, help them in their abilities and stuff like that. Like now you're in that, like you're the one that's more adequate to
Hmm.
help those kids out to be as good as they can be.
Right.
Take them out of their like. Let's say some of them are depressed, and that's what kind of ruins their power a little bit. But you come in and you give them like some hope, and you give them like you pull them out of this depression and stuff like that. Like you could touch on that.
So
You know what I mean?
So you kind of hitting it right there.
Okay.
So where so my character finally decides, hey, maybe it isn't such a bad idea after all. And so Fury found three other people who had these powers, but it wasn't known to the world or whatnot. Because Fury he sees everything basically.
That man knows a
Uh,
lot. That's for damn sure. Hmm.
so he found one person. Her name was Monty Kelly. She is a doctorate student and is also a professor. I think at I had this written down somewhere. I just can't remember the college that she was teaching at because she's also getting her few doctorates
Oh,
from
okay.
there as well. So she's the smart one of the team.
I got you. Okay.
Another one was another one. His name is Jeffrey Morris, which I actually like put my best friend in the story as well.
Jeffrey Moore. Okay.
Uh,
That's cool.
so he is a power kinetic, basically, so fire. Um, and he is a part of the Air Force. I think I ranked him as a captain, I think, in the Air Force. I
Okay.
think I made him a rank of a captain. And then the last one is Darrell Thompson. I think I made that
What
his
did he say?
last name.
Darrell Thompson.
Darrell Thompson. I
Okay.
think I
Okay.
put that in his last name. I have to go
Got you.
back and look.
Right. Right.
Uh, he is a private investigator in New
Oh.
York. Okay. Yeah, he's a private investigator in New York, so he's not too far. Imani is in Chicago. Jeffrey is in Sacramento or San Francisco, one of those two California
Oh,
cities.
so you got them pretty split up. Okay, so they're not
Yeah, they split
genuinely
up.
in a region. So you got them all. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I go visit them individually. Uh, just saying like, hey, for Imani, she was teaching the class, and I came in there, I was invisible basically, and saw her, taught her class, and um, wait until she got done. And I was just like, this is
So she's
pretty
hearing
good
a clap,
lesson,
but
you
she don't see nothing yet. She's
right?
like, wait a minute,
And
who
then
clapping? And then you reveal yourself.
And then next thing you know, it's like it's me. And then she's surprised that a superhero came to visit her class and whatnot. So like we
Okay.
talked, walked back to her office, try to learn a little bit more about her. And then next thing you know, I'm like, hey, I know what you did right here. Give her this like iPad, basically showing a video of how she got her powers. So what she did was like she was kind of like she was working with diamonds, and she was kind of like splicing, kind of doing something with the diamond that I can't exactly remember, and so. And she was doing something with herself too, like
Something with
splicing
the
the
like the. Okay, I think I know where you're kind of going with this.
yeah.
The
And so like
molecular compound of diamond and
yeah,
trying to really maybe split it up.
yeah, yes. Thank you for
Okay.
that. Um, and then she was working on something with herself as well too, doing something with her DNA. Something got messed up. An explosion happens, and those diamonds get into her skin. Now she has the ability to transform her skin into diamond, giving her super strength.
So is it along the lines of how Emma Frost's second mutation is, or is it a little
Uh,
more
actually,
intense, a little more stronger? Because I know with Emma, she don't get that much strength. So maybe you're
she
giving
no
this
no
character strength though because of the diamond.
in my niece because she is
Okay.
strong. She is strong. Like
So can it be along the lines of how like instead of Colossus turning to metal and being strong, this girl turns to diamond to be strong.
uh-huh.
So to be
Right.
along them lines,
Yeah.
okay, right,
So
right.
like she's as strong as she can go toe to toe with Colossus thing.
That's pretty
Now
cool.
will
That's
she
pretty cool.
win? She might have an upper hand because she's a genius, but she's able
I
to
like
go
how
toe
you're
and toe with
covering
them.
these bases where, like, now you're looking at, because normally it'll be like the quick-witted kind of guy or girl is the one that's like the smart one, and then the dumb one's the strong one. And this one, you got the flip. So the
Uh,
strongest person on the team is the
is
smartest
also
person.
the smartest.
But
Yep.
then you got right now, so I can see the direction of the other characters in a way. So this is cool. I like the dynamic you got going here so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So sure that I know how she got her powers, and nobody else knows,
right.
because she thought the videos got erased and deleted because she deleted them herself. But I was like,
Well,
well,
you know how Nick have his ways,
but so yeah. So once I tell her, that she's surprised that I know about her powers, and I basically tell her like, hey, I'm thinking about forming my own team, and I want you to be a part of it. And she's questionable about it. She's very questionable
but
about it
that's
because she
because of
was
her
like,
intelligence making it questionable about it.
Yeah, and
But
then she was like,
also, so she may be intelligent, but she's also hesitant on the idea of like she feels she can do enough to actually help people, to be a part of a team, something like that.
why do I feel like you're lying? Because that actually happens like later on in the later
Oh,
on in my
see, that's
fan
how
fiction.
crazy I am. I'm not trying. Hey, I might be Professor X. No, but
And so yeah, so yeah,
I
I mean,
like
because
that
that
though. No,
actually
no, no.
does.
That's
She actually has a
that's
moment
really
like that
nice.
later
That's really
on in the
nice. Yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So we leave it at that with between me and Imani. Um, with Jeffrey,
So
like I
Jeffrey
said,
was the
he's
captain,
the
military.
he yeah, he's the
Some kind
military
of,
one.
is it just pyrokinetic?
Yeah, he's just a pyrokinetic.
So
Um,
that's the one. I think that one I would think. So is he along the lines of how like, because I know pyro doesn't create fire, he just manipulates it.
he manipulates it.
While in this, he's
Jeffrey can create
creating,
it.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I got you.
So so he got his powers like on a mission one day. He's a pilot too, piloting a jet.
Okay.
Um, and a random meteor shower happens. Um, Meteor shower hits his jet, crashes down. The meteor, breaks into pieces and whatnot, and the meteor gets into his skin, giving him those powers
So in
of
a way,
power
his
kinesis.
powers can be derived from more of a cosmic style
Hmm.
interpretation.
Yeah,
Almost like, because technically the Fantastic Four are more cosmic as well.
yeah, they're more
So in
cosmic.
this case, because of maybe the elements that were in that particular meteorite,
Uh huh.
it had that cosmic element of the fire.
Right.
Right, bam, and it's in them and stuff.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
would I ask, because see, now that I'm thinking about it, and this is just me looking at like the big picture of everybody else, would he be the one that can kind of have more of a deformity? Because, like, for example, Human Torch, he's a pretty dude, you know, he turns into
Hmm.
fire, then he's back to a pretty dude. But with this guy, it sounds like because of the way this is going, the way you're already projecting it, it sounds like this could be the character that he ain't so pretty right now. Like,
You
because
will
of
actually.
how harsh this accident sounds.
Well, it was pretty harsh, but since those since that meteor, like went into his skin and gave him those powers, it actually kind of healed him, and it was kind of a miracle. How the story came out with him surviving that crash when he never should have basically. So he actually like walked out of that
Ooh,
unscathed and everything like that.
you
So
just gave me. Let me throw this in there. Okay,
okay,
the healing properties of fire.
uh huh.
He can heal the team if anybody got hurt. Like, so he may be a source of destructive power, but he also has a healing side to it. So like if you have a
Power
wound,
wise, yes.
almost like he
Yes. So
cauterizes, but it's not in that sense.
uh so like say like if I got like injured in like a if like my hand caught on fire or something like that, he is able to take that flame away and kind of like you not necessarily like heal it fully, but like I
It
guess
does a
calm it
good
down
job,
in a
right?
way. Yeah,
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Right.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's pretty cool.
so that's how he got his powers. And I go visit him, you know, at the base and everything, and tell him, and he's surprised that I'm here, and he's actually very excited that I'm talking to him. And I tell him that I want to form my own superhero team, and he's just like, I'm in.
I was just thinking about that. I feel like he would have been the one that's easily. He's not hesitant at all. He's on board. Let's go. Let's do
Yeah.
this. So opposed to the
So
first girl, like she's
uh
kind of reserved.
because she's like, my life is already going good. I mean, I'm getting my doctorate and everything. I've got a great job. I don't need nothing like ruining this or interrupting this.
But
So
with
yeah,
her, the other thing I feel like can happen, which it's unfortunate for to happen to someone, but to progress the story, if you will, is
hmm
that she's not understanding that her powers are still not in her control, and it's going to ruin something for her.
yeah,
That's going to be the unfortunate. Like she feels she's
hmm
doing but something's going to happen at a certain point that's just going to ruin it. Maybe she got
hmm
stressed too much, or something that happens, and something happens that just it kind of ruins it for her. And
yeah,
it sucks. I'm already thinking about it like, man, to put a character through that, but hey, sometimes you got to
hmm
go through something to then become the better you later on. Like
yep,
so that'd probably be
and
the way that she would now be like, look, this happened to me now. I feel like there's no going back, and the move
hmm
forward is to go with you,
yeah,
like that kind of thing.
right. So
Tragic.
yeah, that's how you can kind of put it that way for her,
And then
and
the other kid
and
is just on board. Let's do this. Let's go.
he's on board. He's
What?
good.
You know
And the
Nick
only
Fury?
thing,
What?
and the thing about it was that it was like, oh my god, if I join you and if I leave the military, they're gonna give me a discharge or whatnot. I was just like, I got you.
Yeah,
Just let
Nick
me handle
Fury.
it.
Yeah. That ain't gonna
And
happen.
it's not even Fury, it's me.
Oh,
It's just
you'll have
like
it too. Oh, yeah, you got that power
it's just
too,
like
man.
I got
I thought
you.
it'd be one of
Cause
those. Hey, Nick. Yeah. Do me a favor.
because you got I mean you gotta think about it, you got a telepath on your team.
That's true. That's
So
true. That's true. That's true though.
and then the last person is Darrell Robinson, not Thompson, Darrell Robinson.
Darrell
Um
Robinson. Okay.
and he is a telekinetic and a telepath. So he's kind of like Jean Grey, basically,
Okay.
just a male version. I'll get into how he got his powers a little bit later. Um, but he's a, private investigator. He's a private
I tell you
investigator
what, having that
first.
power to be a private investigator, you always gonna
But
try to
here's the
true. Go ahead.
thing: he doesn't like using his powers. He
He
doesn't
likes
like his
using his
powers.
legitimate intelligence on it and piecing things
He
together.
like he like he hates having his powers.
Oh.
And I'll tell you about it a little
Okay, I
bit
see.
later.
Okay. I got you. I got
Uh, so I go visit him, telling him, I kind of seen you, use your powers before, even though it was by accident, you didn't mean it. But I feel like you would be good, a part of my team. And he's just like, absolutely not. No,
you. Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
just
doing
straight up
that.
refusing. Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up refuse. Um, but yeah, so we got Jeffrey on board, and
I
he's
tell you
coming
what, I
on.
can see why you would like my reasoning why you would want an individual like that on your team is that he'll be the best one to investigate why certain things are happening on
hmm
missions that you guys have to deal with. Like
Right.
there'll be those things that y'all just don't know what direction to go to try to piece things together, but he does because
hmm
he's been at it for so much, and he'll be
Right.
able to pinpoint like, okay, so I feel like the real corporate, like it's not you think it's this bad guy, but it's actually these people over here, and like you
hmm
could say, oh, it's that organization just piggybacking where they're using that bad guy to take the heat but they're the reason this is going on. See what I'm saying? So he's the one that's going to find the real underlining problems for y'all to then to tackle those challenges.
Right.
That's why I feel like that's a good character to have in your team, and that's probably why
Yeah.
you're that's really cool.
So,
Like that's a really cool setup.
uh-huh. So yeah, so tries to recruit all of them, got Jeffrey joined on board immediately. Imani changes her mind and decides to come. Uh, and then, the rail comes on a little bit later. I have it posted online on what's the name of that site? AO3 Archive of Our Own. So yeah, I actually like posted this on archiveofourown.com. And I have two stories on there right
Well, you
now.
said
Two stories
arc
on there.
what?
Archive of Our Own. Archive of Our Own.
Oh, archive of our own. Okay.
So let's see here. And so yeah, I put in some work on this now that I'm looking at it.
And I gave
'Cause
you
I
a
was
little
like,
extra here and there,
you
which I
did,
hope
so it looked like I gotta go back and change it.
Hey,
I gotta
rewrites
go.
happen for a good reason sometimes, man.
Right, you are right.
So where?
But
Okay, so I'm on the front page of this archive our own beta. There's a fandom
uh-huh.
button, browse button, search button, about
Yep.
button, find your favorites, all fandoms, anime, manga.
hmm
Okay, so what would be the way to find your stuff just to look at it? Like if somebody wanted
You can just find me. My username is DJ Middleton 4.
The Vanguard by DJ Middleton 4.
Yep.
Marvel
And
616. Yay!
yeah. So don't say too much yet,
No,
because I
I
want to
ain't gonna
try
say that.
because I want to try to explain this story fully through now. Now that
Oh
it's all
yeah,
coming
yeah, yeah.
back to me.
Oh yeah.
Um. So yeah.
Oh, so I
So
got two. Oh, you got two things going here.
I got two of them on there now.
Okay.
Um. So while all of that is going on, there's actually somebody trying to come after me because of what he's done, uh, unknowingly. What I've done unknowingly to that person, um,
Okay.
and so he's trying to come up with this big plan, and try and find any and every way to take me down. And
Oh
he
no.
he has, I mean, he has a
He's
good
one of
reason.
those, man. Come on, man.
I mean, he has a good reason, and it's just, and I didn't know about it, so it's just like, what can you do? What can you do? So yeah, like I said, I'm trying
So
to.
legitimately, there's ways of improving that. There's something dated prior to you.
Uh
There's that.
hmm
Okay. But
Yeah,
unbeknownst to you, you didn't know about them.
I did not know about it.
Okay. Um. See, I'm already got my legal brain starting to work. Because in
hmm
all technicality, if if you weren't aware of him, then you're not trying to copy. There's
hmm
that. And then, hmm.
Yeah. So
It depends
okay.
on what are the similarities and what are the differences.
hmm
And I mean, it takes a bit to try to like really distinguish like if it's because anybody can claim you're trying to take a shit, but your the way see most of the stuff when it comes to defense is you always got to sit there and find out what are the things you can easily prove that you had no knowledgement of this guy
hmm
and stuff like that. You got to be able to prove that. That way, if
Yeah.
anybody does come at you, then okay, you can come at me, but here's all my stuff, and I can legally prove how like
Yeah.
this ain't nothing on you,
So,
bro. Like you know,
yeah. All right, and then so here's the thing I found out. So I'm going through it right now. So while he was meeting with or he was meeting with him, Imani, he he got a phone call from Nick Fury saying like you need to come to the raft right now. And I'm just like, okay,
oh,
cool.
okay,
All right, we're going to the raft and everything. And that's when he finds out that some people are escaping the raft, and
oh shit,
man behind it is his name is Christopher Chambers. Okay,
Christopher
and so he
Chambers.
did. I did something to him that really affected him negatively, that makes him want to get revenge on me.
And that sucks at
So
how that happens though in general when it comes to superhero
yeah,
stuff.
uh huh,
Like there's times where just a superhero being created has
mm-hmm,
the unfortunate negative effect on something or someone, and
mm-hmm.
then that's the villain. You know that. That's wild, man.
Yeah,
And it's like it's a silly trope, but it's realistic in a way. Like
mm-hmm,
because like when you get successful as a problem, that's
yeah,
an example in real
and
life. Somebody's going to be affected negatively somehow.
get this, he is Christopher Chambers is a former member of Hydra.
So in this timeline, Hydra, is it still technically an active thing, or is it
Yeah,
along the lines of like? Because I know the one of the other comic books was showing how Hydra, AIM, and other like they made their own little offshoot group together
mm-hmm,
in a way. But this guy was like former, but he's doing his own thing.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Hydra is still a thing. Basically, he just went off and did his own thing.
Okay.
Basically to try to get back at me.
Right. Right. Right.
And so when he finds out, when I found out, and Fury finds out, you know, Fury's just thinking like, I gotta try to do everything to like protect Dominic, basically, and he is, he's like, worried. We never seen Fury like this. Kind of have like this, soft family side they has, because Nick Fury is not have
Yeah,
like
because
any
there's
like
times
family.
where it's like he cares, but then he don't care because
Yeah,
he's always thinking about the greater picture
yeah.
and
But
the
then
greater
this is
outcome. This is the
yeah,
one time it's a little more down to earth.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
The
so
family.
he get to see his emotions come out a little bit more.
Right. Right. Right.
And so that's going on too. We get the team finally together, and so now we're basically, you know, trying to figure out how we can work together
Right.
as a team, basically. So
So
you go through
now,
all the all the little montages. We get we talk to each other, try to learn. Uh, try to learn about each other a little bit more. I
right,
brought
all
them
the real
to
good stepping stones towards.
yeah. So
Okay.
like so we had this so we had like our own residence that was also like our headquarters, basically out in upstate New York. So all everybody like moved out here to New York, basically. Um, and so get to know each other. Try to practice with our powers, um, and I try to try to give them like a pep talk and all day, because now I'm becoming the leader, basically. Um, so it's kind of hard at first, but we're trying to
So
try to
is that
get.
stuff in New York temporary until you think you're established in the area you want to be, or is it like you know what I mean? Like because the whole idea, like possibly taking care of the southeast area of the United
Uh,
States. Like, is this
oh no, we're going to stay in New York. All the superheroes are in New York, so
okay?
we're like,
Okay,
we'll stay here in New York,
okay, all right.
basically.
I got you.
And so he's trying to get everybody acquainted in our new house or mansion, showing everybody around, and then showing, it's like it's a two-story mansion. So like, of course, on the top floor is all of our rooms, all four of our rooms, and then the first floor is, just your living room, your kitchen, bathroom, whatever. And then below that, the basement is the headquarters. So you
Right.
have like your training room, your lab,
So it's like a
mission
miniature.
room,
It could be
all that.
a mini uh, Avengers compound, but
Kind
with
of, yeah.
like the aesthetic of how like the X Men's mansion is, where it looks
Uh-huh.
like a regular place, but you got some cool shit underneath.
Right.
That's
And
cool. That's cool.
so yeah, and so we get a tour of all that. Omani is like in, that she has her own little lab, and,
Oh, that'll probably
and
put a smile on her face right there with that.
yeah,
That's my lab.
and
Oh.
and so, and then of course, we try to practice together as our team with our powers. I'm trying to show them how to like control and use their powers, while at the same time how to work together as a team. So it's a little bit rough. And then also we
Little
got,
bumpy road there in the beginning.
yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah. And so, we got, while all of that is going on, Christopher Chambers is trying to, try and get his plan together, finalize his plan together, because we had, some Shield agents. Fury sent out Shield agents to go find Chambers, and just basically, uh, just like make sure he stops whatever he's doing in order to protect
All
me,
right, so
basically.
let's touch on Chambers just for a little bit.
Okay.
So Chambers himself, is he a regular dude with no
He is.
abilities, no non-ability
He
dude,
he's a regular dude,
or he's just
very very
smart?
smart,
Okay,
and he builds his own suit basically.
okay,
He
so
has his own
he's
suit that he built.
almost like not for lack of better terms, I guess he's like an evil Starkish kind of guy.
Yeah, I didn't want to put like too much, make him like so much like a Stark, like an Iron Man guy. No, have I didn't want his suit to be like modeled
I
after an
mean,
Iron
obviously,
Man.
you're right. It'll have to be its own legit, unique.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to have
Right,
like his
right. And
own
then
legit
when it
suit.
was talking about the portion about breaking people out of the raft, was it with the intentional set for certain individuals he's breaking out?
The main thing with that was that he wanted to get my attention, basically, just
So
to say
he
like,
wasn't getting anybody to legit work with. Like that's why I was thinking like how you
mm-hmm,
making a team, but he's making a team.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like how
He he just wanted to try to get Dominic's attention and like be like,
okay, I
watch
see.
out, I'm coming for you, basically.
Which
And
what better way to really solidify that you're a badass is that being able to really mess with the raft.
yeah,
That really shows like the level of seriousness that you're
hmm,
dealing with.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
And so that kind of puts like, it kind of puts Dom and Fury on notice, basically.
Right,
I'm
right.
saying Dom like that's not even my name. So that puts me and Fury on notice, basically.
I
Um,
like the way you did that. Was funny.
and so like Fury had several of his agents go out and find Chambers and basically finish finish Chambers, like stop what he's doing in order to protect me. And so, they go find out where he's hiding at. Um, they get ambushed. Um, and so while the agents are attacking him, that's when we see like Chambers and like his full suit, um, and just basically killing all of those agents, basically. Um, and Fury was trying to get in touch with those agents, and he got a video message from Chambers, basically saying like you need a plan B because that plan that you had did not work and just ended the call right there. And
See,
so,
this suit,
uh
the more you mention the suit,
huh,
um, the more I'm trying to visualize and think about concepts that would obviously distinguish itself away from Tony Stark. So
so
obviously
the
the
way,
total design is there, but let's say he knows you already, so he knows he needs the ability to block your powers. He needs
hmm
to be able to see your invisibility. So he's gonna have like that kind of thing straightened out.
hmm
And then on top of that, let's say he's one of those, he's been doing his research and somehow he knows who the people you've been talking to.
hmm
And so this suit also is able to resist like the fire capabilities of the wand. And then even though so and so is strong with diamond, the suit's capable of withstanding stuff like that. When it
hmm
comes to brute force, um, but I'm trying to think about like what can really set it apart. Because I mean, right now you could go with the baseline of the suit is primarily to deal with you and your
hmm
immediate team. So the flaw that it technically has is anybody else.
yeah.
So there's that as the beginner suit, if you will.
hmm And just to give you a visualization of um, the suit build, when I was imagining it, it was kind of close to the build of like the bulkiness of it, kind of close to like Buzz Lightyear, of how his suit is, how kind of bulky that is. Um,
I see what you're
that way, it's
saying.
like it has a lot of durability and it could take a bunch of damage and all that. Um, so that's how I kind of envisioned his suit. Now the colors, I really didn't think too much of the colors. I
Right.
kind of thought
That'll
that
probably
like,
come with time on that one. I would say
yeah,
don't
I was
emphasis
thinking
too
like
much
mainly
on it.
like just a dark, solid green, mostly as his suit, as his robotic suit. Um,
Or depending, because this is why I say don't emphasis on color so much, is that
uh,
once you solidify what kind of material we're talking about,
right,
then you can imagine what is the natural look of that. You know how like certain metals under certain
right,
heat give
mm-hmm,
off that different variation. So like you would have a little bit of different colors in the metal if you
yep.
heat it a certain way or something like that. Like there's that as an option.
I
Green.
wish I had your mind when I was writing all of this out. I really wish I
Hey,
did.
I'm giving it to you right now. Go ahead. But you see what I'm saying, right? So that's
Yeah.
where, so you
hmm
don't, you save yourself the headache and worry about the color. Because I think that'll organically come in once you really solidify the materials this individual is going to be using on this suit. And
hmm
that's where the color comes in. I feel like it's going to be on the more natural sense, opposed to like
Uh-huh.
how Iron Man decided to just paint it. You know what I mean? So this was
Yeah.
more organically coming into its color,
Right.
and then
So,
because of I think also because of the sheer fact of what the material needs to be to handle you and your team, I think that's
hmm
where he's not worried about trying to look a certain way.
hmm
He's only mindful of actual use, and that's it.
hmm
And then when it comes, so Buzz Light, okay, I see. I kind of got that image. Now I'm also thinking about what kind of direction you want to go for head area. Do you want to have a dome piece? Do you want a legit helmet? Um, do you want to show face, not face?
yeah.
Because I
Oh
know
yeah.
he's dealing.
He
I know the helmet, in a way, whatever you got, is dealing with your powers to keep you out of his
uh
head. So there's
yeah,
that.
his helmet is see-through. Like you can see his face.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
transparent.
Okay. I'm already kind of imagining a helmet now that I think about it. See, this is
Yeah.
where if I was a good artist, I'd sketch you the fuck out of this shit right now. As we're talking, I would have sketched it.
Yeah.
But this is where
So,
you need your friend
yep.
to come in the picture eventually here.
Yeah.
As you spit all this game to him, he might be able to get you some really good concept art. That'd be pretty cool. See, like, cause I
Um,
know on my end with this Gambit and Black Panther stuff, like, I definitely want to approach the cards,
mhm.
get you the cards so you can see that, just to give you a little more inspiration. And then when it comes to like artistry, I mean, I ain't no, I can't draw with this shit. I wouldn't be able to do anything to really. Yeah, you would need someone that has like that kind of skill.
Man, so all right, what
All
was
right,
I?
so now
So
you got.
after,
Okay,
yeah,
so now
so
I got a solid idea of what you're dealing with. You, the team. Okay, here's this guy, and he like so you just set it up where he's like in a section now where he's trying to trap you.
hmm
Okay.
and then so because after he kills all of Fury's agents, Fury is on the verge of is like, yeah, I just got um I'm going in myself to handle
Oh
this
shit.
problem.
Mm.
So and so that happens, and then we get to the team's first like training session as a team, basically. So they all have like these. Amani, thanks to her genius, designed all these black training suits for everybody to wear. So they're doing their mission in the training room that's set up by CT, which is short for computer. Uh, that's the AI for the
Oh,
house,
CT.
basically.
Like, hey, CT. That's pretty cool. I
So
like that. I like that. I like that. It's a
so
nice
he
simplistic, but it's still an original take because I don't think
yeah.
anybody else. Yeah.
And so so they do their first mission as a team and whatnot. Everything's going cool until something falls apart between Jeff and Darrell, and so they basically go at it, where they start arguing and whatnot. And then I get frustrated with it, and I just stop the whole training session and just storm out, basically. So so like the training
I
session
just.
ends.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
frustrated.
I am smiling from ear to ear because I actually opened up the Vanguard thing and I see the photograph of the artwork between
Yeah.
the suits. Like you got the purple there, you got yours with blue and black, and then she.
That's for the second one. I didn't
That
get
does
no
look cool. I'm
artwork.
not gonna lie. I was digging that. I'm digging that.
Yeah, that's for
The
the second
Alpha
one because
Clan thing, right?
I didn't get no artwork for the first one. Um,
But no, yeah, I like
but
that. That's a good.
after after I storm out of the training session, um, they the rest who were left behind. Um, oh no, I think the rail walks out too, basically. Um, and so Jeffrey starts asking Amani, like, are we really cut out for something like this? And 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 she's trying to calm him down after what happened and everything. And so everybody just kind of like takes a break and whatnot from that session. Um, and then so with me, with my character, uh, he's in the kitchen just trying to calm himself down, trying to get his head together, see what he can do to fix it. And he's doubting himself, saying like, I should have just stuck with being an Avenger. I'm not cut out for being a leader with this.
Mm.
And then
The whole
he
second
has a
guessing and shit coming in.
I'll say that again.
I was like, that's when all the second guessing and everything, and they
Yeah,
think they're failing at what he
right.
was gonna do. Yeah.
And then somebody shows up at his doorstep, and and then they and then CT tells him who it is, and I'm like wiping away my tears and whatnot, and tell him to tell that person to come in, and the person that walks in is T'Challa,
I
who
was just
I
thinking about that because I was like, I peeked at a certain part of this thing, and I
yeah
saw the name T'Challa, and I was like, oh, he might be getting to that.
yeah because they have because while being an Avenger he developed a close relationship with T'Challa. Well, he developed a close relationship with everybody, but
But
he's just
the one that's like a little extra,
yeah.
like he really wants you to succeed
Yeah.
in your endeavors.
So yeah, he's basically like a big brother to him,
Right,
a
right,
big
right.
brother to me. Um, and so
I
they
know. See how
talk,
you said
catch
him?
up.
He's trying to
Yeah,
thinking about like it's third person, but it's still him.
yeah,
Oh,
Because
gotcha.
it's his name and everything, but he said
Right.
him. Oh no, I mean me.
yeah.
I like that.
And we have a talk and everything, and I tell him what's going on. And he and T'Challa is basically saying like, Fury was right about you, and I saw the same stuff that he sees in you, basically. So I mean, look at me. I'm a leader. I'm also a king of a country. You're going to have failures regardless, but you can't let that failure define you or let that be the final thing you can do or whatnot. So he's basically giving me a
You
pep
can't
talk,
let
and
your
basically,
failures dictate that
right.
things are gonna go the wrong way all the time. It's failures are all learning lessons. Like they're all lessons. And
Hmm.
sometimes they're necessary to really get you on the right path.
Yeah, and so they talk it out. Um, And before T'Challa leaves, he leaves him a present in the living room. And so when T'Challa leaves, I go into the living room and find out that he left us vibranium. And I was just like,
Oh,
he just
little
don't give this
hookup.
to anybody. So,
Yeah,
so I'm like,
that's
hmm.
very special for that.
So I'm like, I know exactly what we can do with this. So go down and see Amani where she's in her lab,
Amani will
basically.
be the first one. Like, ooh, check this out.
So I was like,
Right.
hey, I got a little surprise for you. And I pull out the vibranium, and she was like, how did you get that? I was just like, I know people. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
but
you know, yeah.
yeah, I think
Like,
I
you know,
just
I
told
got
her
the
straight up.
hookup. You know, no, it's
I think I just told her straight up that T'Challa was here, and he left this
that's
for
pretty
me
cool.
or for us. And I said I told her what if we use this for our suits just in case? And she was like, "That's a really great idea," and just took it from me and started working on it.
That'd be
And
pretty
then
cool to use, yeah, because you can use the vibranium towards suits that are adequate for
yeah,
your particular significant powers and stuff like that. Like, because one of the things I was thinking about, do you have any like for example, how your telepathy and whatnot? Do you happen to have any kind of kickback kind of things that you want to like? Let's say you trying to use the power, but something happens where someone can easily have it revert and it like it hurts you in a way that you know what I
so
mean?
so what I have for me is that if I use one power and I try to use another at the same time, the the former power or no, the latter power will be way weaker than the power that I use first. So say if I was
I see what you're saying.
invisible first, and now I try now this only just happens with my telepathy. Because if I use invisibility and my force fields at the same time, they're still equal. But if I use telepathy or either one of them, the telepathy will get weaker. So, and
So
if
the
I,
two are primary, and the one is susceptible to be lesser
right,
power. Okay,
uh huh,
that's what I
yeah.
was
So
wondering if you
telepathy,
had any of that because what can happen here, like let's say through discussion with her, she
Uh
could develop a piece of the vibranium to assist you with that.
huh. Uh huh.
Like somehow that the vibranium will be able to be taking your weakness and and making it where it's not a weakness. And the same
Yeah.
goes with the other ones. I'm wondering if you have any layout where there's pros and cons to their powers and stuff like that. And
Right.
then that's where the vibranium can come in, you know.
Uh huh. And so with and so while me and Amani are talking, we had we had like this little moment between us where Amani was thinking back to where I first met her, and she had a moment in the training session where she was saving like some civilians or whatnot, and she's telling me that, hey, I think I know what you meant by like helping people in another kind of way. I think back there, I think that's what you meant by that. And so she was saying like this is something that I think I might want to do for a long time. And I think there might be a hero inside of me that it just needs to come out of me. And so and so that's their little moment together. And that's why I was talking about how you were talking about if this was a way for Amani, for her, to help people in another way. And this is that moment right
Right.
there that she has about it.
Like a little
Um,
epiphany of towards
yeah.
right.
And so, so after that little debacle, everybody comes back together for a few hours and just kind of like have a kumbaya moment, basically.
Right, right.
So they got
Kumbaya, vibranium, kumbaya.
and so they talk about so they really just talk about their past, basically, and just try to get to know more about each other in a deeper meaning. Um, and so Jeffrey opens up, with he kind of had like a sort of had like a bad high school experience because he flunked out of school, um, and he was just very comfortable with it, and saying like he flunked out of school, was making terrible choices in his life, which ultimately led him to do drugs. Um,
Oh no.
and became a drug addict at that time. And he hid it from his parents until they found out, kicked him out of his home. Um,
How
but
many
he was
chapters?
able to get himself back together, basically. So so once he got himself back together, he got back at school, um, went to college, and got to serve in the Air Force, basically. And so when he was doing when he was explaining that he also explained that that day that he was talking to them, it was also Mark's 10 years of being sober from drugs, basically. So that was kind of like his little opening up moment to the group.
Now,
Um,
I don't mean to stop you like this, but don't give away too much.
oh
This
no, no,
is
no, no.
I'm
It's
just
just kind of like the basics. I
no, yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. I just don't want you
I
to
mean,
give
I
away
don't, I don't
too.
mind it. I mean,
I mean,
it's
part of me
just
is
something
I'm
fun.
thinking in regards to protecting your I because this is technically your IP, okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, I could cut out if you want me to adjust the video because right now we've been going for 2 hours and 32 minutes, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know how much legitimately we should present and what we shouldn't
Okay.
present because I'm being protective of your IP.
Okay.
So
No, no, no.
I'm
That's
thinking in a professional sense now. When
oh,
I
no, no,
say
no.
that,
No
because I don't
problem at
want
all.
nobody to listen to this and then piggyback your stuff, and then all of a sudden, next time you turn around, you're like, wait a minute, this motherfucker took my idea, bro. Like, I don't want that to happen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are some
But
slick pieces of shit out there that unfortunately exist.
yeah. So I'll just try to kind of like speed through this process a little bit. So everybody's talking about like their bad backstories. They Imani, she was talking about how her mom, she was working for a criminal organization, went to jail, but then she got out, and they're living a nice life right now. Mine is uh, that I had was that I took a mission investigating AIM and whatnot. Was captured by Modoc. Um, had me
Oh, excuse me. Jesus.
bless you.
Thank you.
Um, and then he had me like locked up in like had me
Modoc.
locked up for like a few days,
I am
abused
Modoc.
physically and emotionally, and then having like no medical attention on me. Um, so so that was kind of like my bad thing that I had with that. The rail didn't so much open up in that little kumbaya mama, but they were still able to have like fun and everything and whatnot, just to like have fun for the rest of the night. Where they ended up everybody just getting drunk and passed out. The next morning, something happens at the helicarrier. They get a call from Fury, and that's the first time that he meets everybody else. So they all, yeah, they get a video call from him, and they say like, "You got, can you guys come to the helicarrier right quick?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So get dressed, go to the helicarrier, and then to Nick's surprise, he sees all four of them at the helicarrier. He's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're all
Uh-oh.
like, "You sent us a message," and he's like, "No, you didn't." And Fury and I looked at each other, and we're just like, "Oh shit!" And as you know, boom, 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 boom,
Damn
boom, 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 boom,
setup.
boom, 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 boom. It was a setup, explosions everywhere. Um, and so everything just starts going haywire. We're all trying to save the agents and everything. And let's see.
I
So
tell you what,
we
if we
see
had money,
Chambers.
if we had money,
If,
I'm
if,
if we had money, listen to what I say this. I guarantee you we would be able to make a show out of this.
you need to buy more than one lottery
Because
ticket.
the way see the reason I say that too, like you can lay it down as a comic book, but the way he's presenting it,
Yeah, you can actually.
I feel like it'll lend itself to a show.
Yeah,
Hmm.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
see a reason why not.
Because it
Yeah.
already sounds like because of the way, and I'm talking about like budget style, like it don't necessarily have to have too much money to necessarily carry this thing, and then you're looking at if you go through the channels the right way, with because it is an offshoot thing. So by the
Hmm.
time you bring it into the fold of Marvel, it'll be like almost in a what if kind of style in a way. So it's not really messing with their plans because you know how they are with their plans and shit like that.
Hmm.
But to think that the one key ingredient would be actually getting Samuel L. Jackson in there, because I look at it, you can get some really good unknown actors that'll just kill it. You know what I mean? Like just
Hmm.
bring it. And then the only person that you can easily tell who it is Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I'm saying? That'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
So this
Yeah.
this is
So
this is a good story for like that. Yeah.
appreciate that. So Chris and his henchmen start coming to attack the helicarrier and whatnot. And we see that Chambers, while his henchmen are off, doing their thing, he goes into Fury's quarters, just try to get all of his top secret files, not only on just me, but my team, and like pretty much anything heroic on any superhero. And so Darrell finds him, And Chambers is like, you must be Darrell. You were a former private investigator for the NYPD, a telekinetic and a telepath. You're an inhuman, and he walks up like slowly up to Darrell and says, and you're a murderer. And Darrell was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Dun dun dun! Ain't nobody knew about that shit yet.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he was like, you don't.
Here comes the
And
tea,
Darrell was like,
dog. Here
Darrell was
comes
like, you don't
the
know
tea.
nothing about me. And Chambers was probably like, I know everything about you, probably more than you know about your own self. And I know everything about everybody on your team as well too, especially your so-called leader. And he said, he's just basically just down talking on Darrell, telling him like, you're not a hero and you're not capable of being one. You're just better off being the monster that you are.
That's
or
that
worse.
evil guy hitting on the
Yeah.
emotional tones. Like he's emotionally getting into there.
So that really like got Darrell where he's just standing there shaking. And Darrell is trying to, talk to himself, trying to like talk himself out of it, just shake it off. And he said, while Chambers is walking off and everything, because I think Chambers goes into the control room, and Darrell is coming up behind him saying like, "What you said about me was wrong," and then Christopher was like, "Am I?" And he tries to attack Darrell, but
so Darrell's in denial of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so when Chris tries to attack Darrell dodges his attack, and just ran until he took cover, and Chambers fired one last attack at him, but Darrell yeah. So I'll try to wrap this up.
Do you work tomorrow?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh shit. Well, yeah. Well,
Yes.
wrap it up whenever you want to wrap. I'm game to keep going as long as you want, but I don't want you killing yourself on
Yeah, so like they're all, trying to save civilians and try to keep henchmen from fucking up the city even more. And Fury, him and a few of his agents go to Chambers headquarters and just try to find like wherever they can on him. And we find out that his plan all along was that, he was spying on me and had a plan to take out all of us, me, Imani, Jeffrey, and Darrell. And has been spying on us this whole time. It has the videos that I showed that was showing their weaknesses, basically, and just basically find out he needs to find out more about this. So the three of them are still battling out henchmen and whatnot. And then we see once they get done with all the henchmen, they see that Chambers is coming out in his suit. And then next thing you know, Dominic is me. Me, I'm going like straight
So that'd be
to
like
attack
that's
him.
what you would have to be used to saying. My character decides
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my character will be better than just saying me or Dom.
yeah.
All right. So
Let's do that. That'll help me out a little bit more. Keep track.
yeah. So I got my character once he sees Chambers come out. My character is just basically like, yeah, he's mine, basically, and I like start like floating in the air, and I just immediately go straight after Chambers, just battling out, basically, and Christopher, with him knowing a little bit of my character's moves, he's kind of like he a little bit has the upper hand, and then next thing you know, he says to my character while he's fighting, and he's like, I've been waiting a long time for this. And I'm like, for what? And he says, you think I would forget, would you? And Chambers says, you killed my wife and kid. And I just basically just stopped. I stopped what I'm doing. And I'm just like, what did you just say? And he was like, Russia, 2013. You and the Avengers were out there battling the Red Skull as I was one of his Hydra henchmen. And I'm just like, oh crap. Um,
Oh, so
and
he's a Hydra henchman.
yeah, he was a Hydra henchman. Red Skull was in charge of Hydra at
That's
one point.
interesting. So you took a henchman and brought him into the forefront as an evil
Mm-hmm.
villain.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting to take someone at a small position. If you really think about it,
Uh-huh.
like that's pretty cool because you never know who you go affect.
Right. And so he said that grenade that you flew up there in that plane, my wife and kid were on it. I was like, basically just started crying tears, basically breaking down in tears at that point. And he said, I knew you were trying to erase everyone's memory in that explosion, but you missed one person. And I was like, whoa.
So that'll be
And
how
then,
the hell did you miss him? You got pretty much the whole world
uh-huh.
except for him. Oh, how the hell that?
And then and then he said, and then he asked me, you think because of what you did that makes you good again? Can you wipe out that much blood on your hands? And he starts naming the names of the people that I killed. Um,
Oh shit, he knows
and
all the yeah.
and then all I could do was just say that I'm sorry and I didn't mean to. It was an accident. And basically, Chambers just said, sorry doesn't cut it. And uses like one uh uses an energy blast at me and I just go flying back basically to where he knocks me out almost. And then I see him coming up to me, um and he grabs me by the neck and starts choking me, basically trying to like just break my neck and kill me. Um and he started saying, "You took everything away from me, from my legs, my family, my everything." And so we found out that he is handicapped as well too because of that.
And that's where the
Um,
suit comes in too for that.
yep. And then I'm trying to gasp for air, but I can't. I can't do it because like so much air is being taken out of me. I can barely do anything for him, barely do anything to him, as I was like trying to like use my powers. and and then he was like, it's time for you to pay. So he wants me to suffer. So he throws me up in the air and blasts me into a nearby building, like glass breaking and everything. Now I have like scars on my head.
So he ain't trying to
Um,
kill you, he trying to make you suffer.
um, and so like now, now I'm unconscious from all of that. And then he walks up to me and then he basically said like, like time for you to go or something like that. And when he fires it at me, it's deflected. And he does it again and it deflects again. And so he's like, what is going on here? Um, and then as you know, we hear somebody say, I suggest you get away from him. And as you know, Chris turns around and look who it is. It's Darrell in a nice black suit that Amani made. Um, and he has like
He came to the
he's floating
rescue.
in the air with like two tow trucks floating behind him, meaning that he
Oh
has good
shit.
control of his powers now. Um, and he just basically threw them at Chambers to where he's like, flying back, get him away from me, and he's basically coming running to my aid. Um, and so he wakes me up, and I see that oh you're here, you're here. What made you change your mind? It was like, we can deal with that later. Right now, we gotta stop him. And so Darrell has like an immediate change of heart. It does a complete like 180. Um, and they're just like, let's go stop him now. So the whole team is back together now. Or like they see, Jeffrey and Monty getting like outnumbered by the agents or by the henchmen, and Darrell comes flying down, helping Jeffrey out. I go and help Amani out. Um, and the let me see where we at right now. Um, and they saw one last henchman left, and it turns out to be that it was Chambers, um, and and then we're just basically like just cut it out, it's all over, you lost, and next thing you know he's just like, oh, we're just getting started, and we have hundreds of henchmen coming out of all directions,
God
basically
dang.
surrounding us, and then we're just like, all right,
Here we go.
this is it, y'all. This is it. And so like, have like you have like those moments in the movie where it's like a superhero's like powering up. So uh Jeffrey, he's turning into his fire form. Monty's
Comment.
turning
Oh no.
to Monty's turning to her diamond form. Darrell is like basically looking around, like have like his two fingers on his head. My hands start turning into a transparent blue color, and my eyes are turning into a transparent blue color. Because that's how it is when if I use like a lot of power, if I let my emotions get to me, then my eyes start turning blue. And then we're all like, all right, you guys, this is what we've been preparing for. We ready? Everybody's like, we're good to go. And then the main catchphrase that I use for this team, like,
Oh, we got a
uh,
catchphrase. We got a catchphrase.
like how the Avengers have like Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
X-Men is like, to me, my X-Men. Mine is just something simple for our team. And we're just like, let's go kick some ass. And then next thing you know, we're just like doing our own
Let's go
thing,
kick
kicking
some ass.
ass. So once we got done with all the henchmen, uh, we see that Chambers is coming out in like a 30-40 foot tall robot, basically. And we're just like, oh crap. Here it is. Here we go. Um, and so like they got done with all the finding the henchmen and everything. Uh, and now we're trying to figure out how we're going to like defeat, you know, Chambers like big robot that he has now. Um, and so I come up with the plan was like, Darrell, Jeff, y'all keep him distracted. Amani's coming with me. And so what we do is that me and Amani, we get to the top of the roof or the top of a building, um, and I made her invisible. Um, and I was like, did I have something say, Chambers? I said, so yeah, the rail and Jeffrey are keeping him distracted by like Jeffrey's like constantly throwing fireballs, and Darrell's like throwing like cars and rubble and all that type of stuff to try to get Chambers from getting close to where they are, and I get Chambers' attention, saying like like, hey, I'm here if you want me, like I'm right here. So, and Chambers is like, okay, you're right there, and you want me to come to you, fine. And like I throw my hand out that he doesn't know that I am telekinetically throwing Amani in her diamond form, and I'm just basically you know, just boom, 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 having Amani like fly into Chambers' robotic body and just basically trying to break his suit down, basically. And so while
Oh, so
I'm doing
it's
that,
like using her as a wrecking ball.
yeah, basically.
That's cool.
Uh, and I was just like, Jeffrey, And I'm screaming to Jeff. I'm like, Jeff, go all out for this. And he was like, you sure? I'm like, I am positive. Like, do what you need to do, basically. Um, and so like he starts forming like a supernova flame, like circling around Chambers' body and whatnot. Um, but we know that with Jeffrey going supernova is going to cause some problems. So the rail gets him out of his, telekinetically gets him out of his suit, and we see that Jeffrey's flame is getting brighter and brighter. I got Amani out of there, and I have to like put up a force field, just to block off, the damage that Jeffrey's powers is going to cause, and uh, next thing you know, his supernova flame it explodes inside my force field, trying to contain all that. And now Chambers is defeated. The whole suit is like burned, melted down, and we see Chambers is basically um, he's basically crawling on the ground, grabbing his legs because they're in great pain because, we find out he is handicapped because of that. He's paraplegic. And he uses a medicine that gives him the use of his legs back for a short time. Um, so, so we find out that what his plan was all along. And I try to have a moment with him. But when I was kind of like, let this be a lesson learned or something like that. But he ends up spinning in my face, and I'm just like, you know what? And I just like gave him a satisfying punch like after that, just knocking him out, just like pure strength, no powers, no nothing, just pure strength, just knocking him out basically. So the day is saved and whatnot. Fury Fury is back in New York, comes to see what we've done. Damage control is cleaning up. But it's like we all found out what why Chambers is after us, or the four of us found out why Chambers is after us. But Fury didn't have the whole story, and I told him like, hey, this was the real reason why he was coming after me. I used my telepathic powers to like show him what I did back in Russia, blah blah blah. And Fury kind of forgives me for that because he's done some shady shit back in the day. Um, and and so kind of end a little action story there. And now is the time was like where they realize, oh, we're an actual team now. And so they're figuring out what was going to be our code names and whatnot. So Jeffrey's code name is Skyblaze. Amani's is Diamond, something simple. Um, Darrell is Kinetic, and mine, since I already had code name before, no reason to change mine, but mine was Stealth. So those are,
See, I was wondering if you were because I was looking at the thing and
yeah,
I saw the name Stealth.
yeah.
So and
So
so and Stealth walked into the thing. So okay, you're Stealth.
yeah. So four heroes have their names. Now it's a team name that they need to come up with. And now that they thought the Vanguard is a good name to go with, so now the team is known as the Vanguard. But before they get back home, Darrell was like, "Hey, can we make this one stop right quick?" And we go to Harlem,
Oh,
and they go to like this house that they walked up to, and Darrell just once he sees that house, he stops, and we all figured out like, oh, is this your parents' house? And he said, yeah, and I was like, and we're all like, oh, and I was like, you can we don't have to do this now, but he was like, but Darrell was like, no, I can do it. I'm cool.
I'm done raving
Um,
away.
so goes up and walks up on the door. We give him encouragement. knocks on the door, but then he realizes it's a couple seconds later. It's like I can't do this. So he tries to run back to the group, but the door opens and it's his parents basically, and his parents are super surprised. He's surprised, um, and so they all have like a little reunion together, basically hugging each other. Um, and just thinking that they were never going to reunite again after that tragic day. Um, but yeah, there was like we saw what you did on the TV. That was pretty cool and whatnot. So it's kind of like a little forgiveness there with what just happened, and so they have their little reunion moment there. And he stays with them for about a few days or whatnot, just catching up with them. And of course, it always ends off with them going off on another mission now as a team for the very first time. So yeah,
Man, that
that's the end of
now
it.
you gotta do like let's see. So it's the Vanguard, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
And so there is a sequel to it called The Vanguard, The Rise of the Alpha Clan that I wrote.
I saw that. Yeah. But that's what I'm
Yep, that's
trying to
the
figure
sequel
out
to
now. I'm trying to figure out like you know how like you were saying with the Avengers Assemble.
it.
I'm thinking about like Autobots roll out.
Yeah.
But what would be the Vanguard? Damn, you need that. That's needed. That's
Yeah.
gonna be needed. Maybe I'll figure it
I was
out.
thinking about something, but I'm
What
like,
is it? What is it?
said Vanguard, let's fuck some shit up.
Vanguard! Let's kick some ass. Nah, it's gotta be something like
Yeah. And
a
that's
little
it.
bit better than that. So that right there, just the sound of that, that's like a nice mini series.
Hmm.
You do like 6 episodes with that.
Yep.
That's good. 6 episodes right there.
I'll watch it.
With some good emotion. You could tell you're gonna have the emotions in there.
Yeah, if it's done right,
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
You get the acting with the just the right visuals on those, like, let's say you do like a flashback to that shit, those incidents and shit.
Hmm.
What? Got a motherfucker crying.
Yep.
Poor
But
bastard.
I cry
No.
every
Man, that was excellent. That was
I
excellent.
appreciate that.
I tell you
Thank
what,
you.
though, part of me doesn't want to release it, but I don't want nobody taking your stuff.
True. I know. I know. I know.
But yeah, it'll be up to you if you want, because it's not like I have to release. Like I'll
Yeah.
do that other one with a little bit of the beginning of this maybe,
Hmm.
but if you want, I can hold off on this until you want to like release it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those. I'm protective of people's stuff. That's your
Hmm.
stuff. You just said the whole thing, but it's like it's captivating. But it's one of those. I'm thinking about legally. Hopefully nobody will take this shit. If like let's say I release this video and people were like, you gotta have that one piece of shit that thinks he's gonna fucking take your idea and make it
Hmm.
their own or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was good.
But
Oh
yeah.
yeah, very good, very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was very good.
Thank you.
It's something that definitely in the right hands of an artist, we can map out a good comic book. Like this could be also okay. So TV wise, I could definitely say it's 6 episodes. As comic books go,
So I don't know what
this
episode
as comic books and knowing how they are in thickness and whatnot, that's 12 issues right there. That's a 12 issue
Mhm.
series, minimum 8. I say minimum 8, but it depends on how they decide
Mhm.
to, I guess, because there's certain portions what makes a certain comic book longer, as in let's say 12 issues to or down to 8 or 8 to 12. It depends on like if a particular issue is gonna have more action in it than
Mhm.
dialogue. So the action, there's a lot of visuals and not a lot of storytelling. Only through the visuals, and then you get the next book. There's more speaking in the next book, so you got that dynamic. Like you don't know how much you're gonna get.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's between 8 to 12 issues as a comic book. As TV, it'll be like a 6 issue miniseries. I don't see this being a movie because you need that time spent with these characters. That's
Right.
why it's like
Mm-hmm.
it lends itself to a little bit of a longer format.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I
Yeah.
look at it. I
I
tell you what
appreciate
though,
it.
if you fucking get that opportunity to try to present this to someone to at least see if you can sell it
Mm-hmm.
and have it where, but not sell it full outright.
So is
Mhm.
Sell the rights to be able to create it, but then you're getting your portion of the deals. You know, because for example, one of the main characters is you, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to make the right kind of contract.
is
You
it
know what I
gonna
mean?
like have it to where it's in the
Right.
format of a comic book?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It'll be up to him if he wants to just pursue selling the ability of someone making a comic book or somebody making a show. It depends. But since this is in the world of Marvel,
Right.
it's going to be up to them to figure out how they
Well, I'm
want
sure
to
you
approach
can't
it.
make any money off of it when
He's
you
easily going to
well,
make
you
money
can.
off of it.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying like as long as you like you gotta have to
Knowing them, they'll go the direction of the comic book quick.
right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that being an issue. I really don't see it being an issue that someone will want to adapt this into a comic book because it lends itself first and foremost as trustworthiness for the product and the franchise and what's involved. Like because he's involving Doctor Strange and Nick Fury, and then elements of Agents of Shield. Okay, so that's three elements that are belonging to them that's in his story. So he would have to do things the right way to set it up where it's like, you know, he's got his part, they got their part, and then everybody's got to be happy on the contract. You know what
So
I
the
mean?
only way you have access to it is
A
through
lot of negotiations. A lot of negotiations. What do you mean?
if you want to read it, like one way you can
Oh
read
well, no.
it,
The
right?
knowing Marvel, they'll have both. They do both.
No, I
They
mean,
do
Yeah.
I'm
part.
talking about like right now, currently, like.
Oh no, yeah. For him to present it to them, it'll be through email maybe or
Right
through
now, he
something
has
else.
it open to the public on the
On that one website, yeah, that's technically open to the public, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, that's where I'd be like, I'd hold that to the chest, man. I wouldn't have that public, but that's just me. Cause like that's my baby.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
no, yeah.
But hey, and I got go ahead and get going. But
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate this.
Hey, I appreciate
We can definitely
all
try to
this
do this
time.
again at some
I'm
point.
very blessed that you wanted to share that with me. It
Yeah.
was awesome. Plus, I was glad I could give you a little few things here and there. So, like I said, you're more than welcome to take anything I said and incorporate it. However, like if you have a spot you want to add that you think, oh man, you know what, Anthony was right with this one part. Maybe I'll do that.
Hmm.
You're more than welcome to do that. Like I give that up freely. 'Cause,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Thank you.
So hopefully
Thank.
this becomes a comic, man. You need to
Hopefully,
talk to
who
your buddy.
knows?
You need to talk to your buddy.
Yeah.
He may be drawing you as Cap right now, but you get with your buddy, maybe you can get his creative juices flowing in his head, and he might want to put the pen to paper and draw out some concepts of these characters and whatnot.
Well, technically, for as creative as he is, he could technically do his own shit as well if he wanted to do that.
You
Who
could
knows?
try to go that direction,
Yeah,
but
like,
because
throw your
he's
own
got
shit in there.
the problem is also he's got IP. That's the problem with the situation. I won't say it's a
Yeah.
problem, but it's something that legally he has to be careful because you do possess characters in there that belong
No,
to
but
someone
what I'm
else.
saying is
you know.
outside of that whole Marvel Universe shit, like just create your own shit outside of.
You could, but this
Yeah,
story
yeah,
this story is
well,
in
yeah, I
that's
understand that. But
different.
what I'm saying
Right.
is based on like the experience that he already has with that writing on that part, he could probably throw his
Oh,
own
like
shit.
make another comic
Yeah,
like
make
on his own.
comic that's has nothing to do
Yeah.
with the Marvel
Oh
Universe.
yeah, definitely have that capability. right? You'll be able to sit down, make a whole nother comic idea, and then have your buddy draw it, and just them two alone make a comic.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, all right, man. Well, you sleep well. Have a good one at work. I'll probably hit you up whenever I get a chance to hit you up again. We'll see what happens. I know like it'll be around January. We'll definitely start. I'll hit you up to find out because it's the first 4 days of
Weekend,
February.
yeah, February, yeah.
So it'll be around mid-January. I'll hit you up, see how things going. We'll touch back on that for sure.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we'll talk before that too. Like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you take it
All right,
easy.
man.
All right, peace out.
Y'all have a good one.
Later.
Man, have a good night.